Another live stream. This should be an interesting one. Blank Game Week 28, we've known about this for a while. And I feel like a lot of us are maybe still yet to make our transfers. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Let me know what you're up to right now. I don't dislike Friday evening deadlines, but I feel like Saturday morning deadlines, UK time anyway, are a lot less stressful. I just feel like everyone's been at work on a Friday, especially me. I've been at work all day. I just feel like it's a lot easier on a Saturday morning, but that is not to complain at all. And you guys know how much I love the streaming. So do say hello in the chat. Like I said, let me know where you're tuning in from. Hello to the 1,000 people that were waiting, by the way. Thank you very much. Mr. FPL Harry in the chat, the absolute GOAT, absolutely smashing it this year. By the way, FPL Harry on YouTube, 2 back-to-back top 5k ranks, and now he's currently ranked like 1.3k this year. If he gets another top 5k rank and gets 3 back-to-back-to-back top 5ks, that would be absolutely unreal. Yeah, just I could only drink top 5k in one season is unbelievable, let alone 3 in a row. Good to see you, Cheekstar. Good to see you, Frosty, as always. I love to see the regulars in the... Oh, my chair just sounded like it broke then. Good to see the regulars in the chat. I have just seen that. So just before I went live, I just saw a tweet that Almiron is out for 3 weeks. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed, but it looked like it was from a reputable source. That could be something to worry about. I think he's been brought in by almost 500,000 managers as well for Game Week 28. So, yeah, that's quite something. Frosty's just dropped FPL Harry's link for his channel in the chat. So do make sure to go and subscribe to Harry. He is close to 50,000. 50,000 subscribers. What are all these love hearts? Is this a new thing? Where are all these love hearts coming from? FPL fella in the chat. Good to see. If that's the FPL fella, Mr. Dan, thank you very much for being here. Hi, Ross. Question, what's your rank aim now? What's my rank aim now? I think top 10k has always been my rank aim. Even when I was 99th in the world, I was still saying top 10k because I knew it was a long season. So yeah, if I can finish in the top 10k, I would be delighted. Top 5k would be really good, but we'll see how it goes. I think the next couple of weeks, this week and then Bench Boost 29, I think is 2 big weeks for my team. So we'll see how it goes. And then maybe I'll reassess after that. Ross, hit us with some knowledge. Harry Kane or Saka? We are going to discuss Harry Kane and Saka. Don't you worry. Don't you worry at all. That will be a big topic of discussion in today's live stream. Linus says, which goalkeeper duo do you suggest? No chips left, and I currently own Forster and Raya. So no chips left, so you're not on a wild card. I will just keep Raya and maybe bring in Still for Forster, but Raya will see you through to the end of the season absolutely fine. Right. Let's waste no time at all. Let's just jump straight into it and talk about my team as we do at the start, just to give you a bit of context as to why I'm suggesting certain things. And then after I show you my team, I will, of course, go back to answering your questions. So this is where we're currently at the moment. I haven't made a single transfer yet. I've only got 1 free transfer, and I do plan on obviously using that this week. I won't be taking a hit, which means I will be rocking with 10 players, and I am going to be taking Erling Haaland out. The reason for not taking out Rashford is fairly obvious. I think he's the best captaincy option in Game Week 29, and I just don't want to sell Rashford. I know a lot of other people are taking out one of their Brighton midfielders for someone like James... Sorry for that siren, by the way. Very, I was going to say very annoying, but I hope that seems a bit insensitive. Yeah, a lot of people are taking out their Brighton midfielder for the likes of Maddison, but I just think that... Well, I've already got Maddison. I don't really see any other midfielders that I desperately want for this week, and I want my Brighton triple up long term. Do remember as well, not only do Brighton have a really nice double in 29, they're also likely to double in 31, and they will be doubling in 34 and 37. So if you include Game Week 29, Brighton still have 4 double game weeks this season. Like, I just don't want to take out any of my Brighton players. So for that reason, Rashford and the triple Brighton will be staying, and I'll be taking out Erling Haaland. The question then comes, well, who on earth am I taking out? Who on earth am I bringing in for Erling Haaland? I've probably narrowed it down to Watkins and Havertz. Which one of those, I'm not entirely sure. I'll be honest, at the moment, I am leaning Watkins, but I could potentially be swayed towards Havertz on that live stream, and I'll be making the transfer a little bit closer to the deadline. But yeah, it'll be one of Watkins or Havertz coming in for Haaland. And yeah, I'll just be rocking with 10 players. And I don't think it's a massive issue this week. If you've got 7, 8, 9, I always say it's about quality rather than quantity in a blank game week. And as long as you've covered the likes of Saka, Kane, you've got a Newcastle or maybe an Arsenal defender, maybe you've got a Chelsea player in there too, and you've got the likes of Tony or Havertz or Watkins, you're probably okay, and you're probably not going to drop massively in rank. In these weeks, it's actually more important about captaincy, I think. If you nail your captaincy and you've got 8 or 9 decent players, you'll probably end up on a green arrow. At the moment, the armband's on Kane. At the moment, the armband's on Kane, but I could, again, be swayed quite easily to Saka. So I think the thing for me to think about on this live stream for my team is, do I captain Kane or do I captain Saka? And for Haaland, do I bring in Watkins or do I bring in Havertz? And we will be running some polls as well. What are all these emojis that are popping up? I don't know if you can see that in the chat. It's like random, very random. I don't understand YouTube. A lot of people are already drunk because of St. Patrick's Day. I appreciate and respect that. That's absolutely fine. If you're here and drunk, let me know. Cheers, mate. 96k right now. Tony, Kane, Chilwell, Saka for captain. Also start Navas or Raya. I would probably start Raya, unless you want to diversify a bit. If you've already got like Henry and me, maybe you go for Navas. For captaincy, I do think it's Kane and Saka, Tony, and then Chilwell. I don't really like captaining defenders. The thing is with a defender, something could happen and it could have nothing to do with them. For example, let's say like Badia Shield slips over and then Everton go through and score a goal. All of a sudden, Chilwell needs an attacking return at the very least to even get close to matching some of the attackers. I just feel like it's so easy for someone else to slip up or the keeper to make a mistake. And all of a sudden, you regret captaining that defender. So for those reasons, I don't tend to like captaining a defender. But they do have a very high ceiling. We saw like with Gabriel getting a 14-pointer. If Chilwell gets an attacking return and a clean sheet, it's like a minimum 11, 12 points. Hardcore Ali says, hi, Rappy. Mate, don't know if you've heard, but Vieira's been sacked by Palace. It's gone, even if it's gone, looks so nice for Arsenal. Odegaard and Jesus, if you know, you know. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that Vieira's been sacked, to be honest, or that Vieira left, I think was the official statement. But it will be interesting to see how Palace do without a permanent manager in place this weekend. I will be interested to see that result for sure. It's a really tricky one to predict because Palace have been really poor recently, but is that because the players don't believe in Vieira? Arsenal have been struggling a little bit, and they went 120 minutes, obviously, in Europe. And on top of that, they've not been performing that great either. They got knocked out. Is that going to lower their morale, or does it mean they'll focus on the league? There are so many different ways that you can frame that Arsenal versus Palace game. I've got no idea which way it's going to go. Obviously, not ideal as well for Zinchenko and Martinelli. Both of them getting 120 minutes. I would not be surprised to see Martinelli and Zinchenko on the bench. I'm hoping not, as obviously a Zinchenko owner. It wouldn't shock me massively. Yeah, so I'll be playing with 10 players this week. I'll be doing Haaland to one of Watkins or Havertz and rocking with 10. I don't think it's a huge issue. Obviously, I'd like 11 players, but I'm not going to panic. I don't want to sell Rashford and I don't want to sell my triple Brighton. Are you not considering Tony captain, says Kinger? No, I'm not. I don't know why I'm not, because his data's actually been all right and it's a good fixture against Leicester at home. I prefer Kane and Saka. I probably don't have much of a good reason for that. I think Tony's absolutely fine. It is a home fixture and Leicester have been pretty poor defensively. I'm just backing Saka and Kane this week. There it is. Yeah, let me find that. Let me find that Almiron tweet quickly. Let me see if I can find it. I think Let's Talk FPL retweeted it, so I'll go onto his Twitter quickly, or maybe it'll just be at the top of my. Right, let's just search for Andy. Yeah, I saw it literally. I was just about to start the live stream and I saw it. Here we go. It's by Jacob Whitehead. It says, injury news. Miguel Almiron out for 3 weeks after suffering an injury in training yesterday, according to Paraguay manager Guillermo Barros Schelotto. Probably butchered that. A few attacking injuries now for Newcastle. So, there we go. I don't know if that's like 100%. I haven't seen anything outside of that, and it was only just recently tweeted. So we'll have to wait and see if that is the case. But not particularly promising. Not particularly promising for those that have brought in Almiron. And as Andy said, almost 500,000 managers have brought him in this week. So that could be a bit of a disaster, to be perfectly honest. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think we'll probably get any early team news, will we? Although it is the early kickoff, isn't it? Is it? Let's have a look. I think it's the early kickoff, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe we will get some early Almiron team news to confirm that. But I don't see any reason why that guy would have made it up. And he looks fairly reputable, respectable, whatever word you want to use. Right, let's get you back over here. Hi, Ross. Are you not tempted by Henry to Chilwell? If it was for free, I think I would do Henry to Chilwell because next week I'm probably considering Henry to Chilwell anyway. The reason I'm not going to do it is because it's not free for me. That's a -4. The other thing is, I don't necessarily think that Chilwell is that much of a better option for Game Week 28. And whilst I think I'm going to bring in Chilwell in Game Week 29, probably for Henry, if other things happen, I might not end up making that move. For example, let's say Tony gets booked in Game Week 28 and I get another injury in the international break, and all of a sudden I've got to take out Tony, I've got to deal with an injury. Henry to Chilwell probably isn't a move that I want to make. So I don't think I want to take that extra hit now when I might not end up making that move in 29. So at the moment, I'm probably not planning Henry to Chilwell. But yeah, if it was for free, I would be very, very tempted to do it. I probably would do it. Would you captain Heung-min Son on a free hit? I would have Heung-min Son on the free hit for sure, but I don't think I would captain Son, no. Okay, the Athletic are apparently also reporting an Almiron injury. So yeah, I'd feel fairly comfortable saying Almiron's probably injured then if that's the case. Is Gabriel Jesus viable after yesterday's start? He got 45 minutes, didn't he? I think he could probably play for another 45, 50 minutes. So it's whether you think he'll start. It could be, for example, like Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, and Saka. So Martinelli doesn't need to start. It would worry me slightly as a Martinelli owner. It would probably put me off captaining Martinelli, I think. But I don't know if I would sell him as a result. If I was on a free hit, I might end up just going like Erdegaard just to be a little bit safer. You have Henry and Maddison. Surely it's better to get Chilwell. Yes, there's a bit of a clash there, but that doesn't necessarily... I need to just look at each player. And I think Leicester at home isn't a terrible fixture, and it's not a bad fixture for Maddison. It could go either way. I don't really like the idea of Henry to Chilwell for a -4. It feels like the upside isn't massively there. Let's say Henry gets 2 points, and let's say Chilwell gets 10, which is like a big score for Chilwell. Then I'm still only gaining a few points there. So I think at the moment I'm probably planning on not making that move. By the way, hello to the 3,200 people that are currently tuning in. If you are enjoying the stream, please do drop a like on the stream. It massively supports me. And make sure to subscribe as well. We are very close to 65,000 subscribers. In fact, I can tell you how close we are. We are only 350 subscribers away from 65k. So please do subscribe. I would massively appreciate it. Luke says, Crystal Palace fan here. Palace only conceded 9 goals in the last 10. All versus big teams who have been scoring for fun. Gutted Patrick Vieira is gone, but never looks like scoring. So that would suggest that maybe Palace aren't going to be overrun by Arsenal, especially after Arsenal played 120 minutes. I don't know. Good information, though, Luke. Thank you for that. Erdegaard to Maddison. I do think Maddison's a great option, which is why I've had him since my Game Week 26 wildcard. So, yeah, I would definitely... I don't know if I would strongly encourage Maddison, but if you are looking for a midfielder, Maddison is one of the best players for blank Game Week 28 and double Game Week 29. Are you going to play your free hit this game week? No, I'm going to be playing my free hit probably in game week 32. If I unsubscribe and resubscribe, will that help? Unfortunately, I don't think that's the way it works. That would be useful, though. Hi, Ross. I have 2 free transfers and 10 players. 9 if Fabian Schär is injured. Schär was in training, so hopefully you'll be fine. Estepinian or Schär to Chilwell or Matoma/March to Maddison. I think I prefer Solly March to Maddison, and then the week after, you can maybe bring McAllister in, because I think McAllister at the moment just looks like such a good option. I know March outscored him in double game week 27. I just feel like McAllister's getting a big share of the big chances. So I think I would do Solly March to Maddison with the aim of maybe bringing in a Brighton midfielder in game week 29. By the way, this line above my head is the sun shining through my blinds. I do apologise for just the random... It's never sunny in Nottingham. I don't know why it's sunny all of a sudden. Hey, Ross, I've decided to have fun. Haaland, Diaz and Ward-Prowse to Havertz, Mudryk and Chilwell. Daft, right? You need a big performance from Chelsea, that's fair to say. But no, I don't mind those transfers at all. I think Havertz and Chilwell in particular are really nice. And Mudryk could be good. I think especially with Sterling, I think is he definitely out? But Sterling's likely to be out with a hamstring injury. I think that could be really nice. Everton still don't look fantastic at the moment under Dyche. So, yeah, I don't dislike that at all. And hopefully, like I said, a big performance from Chelsea for you. Frosty says, have you seen the rumours about Pope not being in training? Wondered if there's any credibility to it. Think I'll uninstall after wildcard having Pope and Sanchez if the rumours are true. I haven't seen anything, although I've been teaching all day, so I haven't really been on Twitter. Does anyone know if any of those Pope rumours are true? I haven't seen a single rumour or tweet about it. The fact that I haven't seen much about it would probably suggest that it's not, but we'll see. Again, hopefully we get some early team news around Newcastle. Sorry, just got into the stream. Are you keeping Haaland this week then, Raptor? Saw you thinking about taking him out in a video. No, I'll be removing Haaland. I just haven't decided exactly who. Flapjack Gaming says, hi Ross, hope you're having a good St. Patrick's Day. I haven't really celebrated, to be honest. I've been teaching all day, but thank you very much. Would you start Jensen or Mudryk? Oh, Mudryk for sure. Yeah, for sure. David says, why not Henry to chill on -4? It will repay in game week 28 and 29. I mean, I don't know if it definitely will repay. And like I said, I just don't know. Like, for example, if there are other issues next week, I might not make that move. I guess that means I could potentially just make it this week then and just suck it up. It always just feels dodgy to me, making a -4 for a defender, especially when that defender doesn't have a terrible fixture. And like Henry does have 3 fixtures across the next 2 weeks. I don't think they're fantastic fixtures on paper, but he does have 3. It feels like maybe trying to force it slightly. Are Leeds assets being overlooked for the next 3 weeks? Maybe slightly, but Leeds just don't look great at the moment, offensively or defensively. Their data's not particularly strong. I don't mind a punt on one of their attackers, I guess. I'm not overly convinced myself, though, personally. Luke says, Danny Ward has now been dropped for this weekend. No more cheap backup goalkeeper. Also, why is everyone on Havertz over Felix? Has he been 100% dropped? I think there's predictions that Daniel Everson will start. I don't know that he's 100% been dropped, though, Ward. Not from what I've seen, anyway. Why is everyone on Havertz over Felix? They've actually got really similar data. Yeah, as you can see here, 0.65 non-penalty expected goal involvement for Havertz, 0.62 for Felix. I feel like Havertz is just slightly more nailed. We saw Felix come off at half-time the other day, and also Havertz is on penalties as well. So I just think at the moment, Havertz probably has the slight edge, but there's not that much to separate them if you prefer Felix. But yeah, those are the 4 strikers that I'm probably considering at the moment. Isak, Havertz, João Felix and Watkins. And I've probably narrowed it down to Watkins and Havertz instead. I just think those are the 2 that I really fancy for this week and for beyond as well. Do you think Harvey Barnes will play? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it should. I think it'll be Harvey Barnes, Iheanacho, and Tete as the front 3, and then it'll be Maddison just in behind. But it could be Daka instead of Iheanacho. I guess it could be Daka instead of one of Barnes or Tete. But yeah, if I had to predict it, I think it will be Barnes, Iheanacho, and Tete as the front 3 for Leicester. Polkit says, on wildcard, I want to have some fun. Watkins, Havertz, Iheanacho as the front 3. Gabriel, Zinchenko, Saka as the Arsenal 3. Yeah, go for it. If you think that's the play, then by all means. I mean, I would have Harry Kane, but I understand that you get extra fixtures by going with that front 3 because Kane doesn't double in 29. I don't hate it. I'm not sure about double Arsenal defence, though. I'm not quite sure about that. I think the attackers probably offer more value, and that just means that you have 2 single game week players next week in your defence. But yeah, I don't mind that Polkit at all. Stephen says, hi Ross, I still have all of my chips, but I was looking to wildcard after the international break. Haaland, Salah and Mitrovic to Kane, Son and Watkins for -8. What are your thoughts 1 week pump? I don't really like the idea of taking a -8 the week before a wildcard. When you take a hit, you kind of want to give it a few weeks for that hit to pay back. To take a -8 and for that to pay back immediately, you need those players to do really well. So, I mean, I would prefer to wildcard this week, but if you do want to wait, I guess you can go for it and just hope that those 3 players that you bring in go absolutely massive this week. But they do all need to return for it to pay back the hit. It's a tricky one. But yeah, in general, advice, I don't really like taking a massive hit the week before a wildcard. FPL Raptor, how did you perform in high school? I got 3 A stars and 8 A's. So not many stars, but it was, yeah, I got 11 GCSEs is what they are in the UK. 3 A stars and 8 A's. And then at A level, it was 1 A star and 3 A's. So no B's for GCSEs or A level. I'm a nerd. If you weren't already aware, I am a nerd. Chris says, sup Raptor, I'm at a wedding, so I can't commit to the stream. No worries, my man. Any relevant news, injuries? What's your thoughts on Saka captain after yesterday's game? Any news? Almiron looks like he's out injured for 3 weeks. There's rumours apparently that Pope might be injured, maybe Fabian Schär too, so maybe the Newcastle defence isn't the best team to invest in this week. Outside of that, I haven't seen anything. Saka captain, I don't mind at all. You expect him to start, you'd expect him to get significant minutes. At the moment, I just about prefer Harry Kane, but I think it's very close between Saka and Kane. Nez says, Wilson hasn't trained all week, apparently. What do you think of Isak as an alternative to Havertz and Watkins for Haaland? I have Kane/Tony. Yeah, like I said, I like Isak. Isak would probably be my third favourite choice. At the moment, I would say it's probably Watkins, Havertz, Isak, Felix. So if you want to go for Isak, I don't dislike it at all. He's quite cheap. He's probably on penalties for Newcastle as well. I just wonder if he's 100% nailed would be my only concern. But if you think he's 100% nailed, then by all means go for it. Frosty says, I like Isak, just Newcastle don't score a lot of goals. Yeah, that's also true, especially with Almiron out. How is that going to affect their attack? I think there are slightly better options. You prefer Kane over a recently sacked managerless Crystal Palace with Saka lurking. You can word this any way you want. What you've done is you've framed that sentence to make Kane sound like a bad option. You could frame it in exactly a different way and say, you prefer Saka over one of the greatest Premier League goal-scoring players of all time who's got XYZ data. The way you've worded that sentence is, of course, going to make Kane sound like a terrible option. Also, is a managerless Crystal Palace any worse than a Palace under Vieira? It might be that there's a bit of a bounce because now the players want to impress whoever the new manager is that's coming in. You can frame different stuff all the way you want, to be honest. I'll give you £10 to play your bench boost this week. It's tempting. £10 would be great, but I'm gonna say no to that. But thank you for the offer. Pronounce it Felix, not Felix. Is it? Felix. That sounds a bit weird. Henry to James for a -4. Already have Chilwell. If I knew James would start, I would do it because if I don't do it this week, I'll do it probably next week. I don't hate it, but again, yeah, he's a bit of a doubt. I don't think it's a terrible fixture for Henry. It feels like it could go okay, but you really do need James to start and get 60 minutes and get a clean sheet and Henry to blank for it to pay off. So I would be tempted to say no and just do it next week instead. It's a little bit easier to say yes for Chilwell because we know he's probably going to start, whereas James is a little bit more of a concern. Billing. I've seen a few people look at Billing. Pronounce it Felix. Okay, everyone's telling me to pronounce it. Okay, that sounds horrid, but I can say João Felix. It sounds like I'm putting on a stupid accent. Felix. Hi again, Ross. Kepa, Trippier, Botman, Henry, Zinchenko, Maddison, Saka, Tony, Kane, João Felix. What do you think? Yeah, I like it. Especially Tony captain. I think that's a spicy one. As long as you're captaining one of kind of Saka, Tony, Kane, I think they're probably the best three options this week. I don't dislike Tony captaincy at all. Miss Yelena FPL is also captaining Tony this week, I think. So she's a decent manager. I've seen a few people looking at Tony captain. His data's pretty strong. I don't dislike it. I just think I just slightly prefer Saka and Kane. Estepinian to Chili Willy done. Last transfer, Haaland out or March to Matoma or Tony. I think Haaland to one of Watkins, Havertz, someone like that is absolutely fine, Ryan. So, yeah, I don't think you should be scared to take out Haaland. He doesn't play this week. Next week, he doesn't have a double game week. Yes, he could score against Liverpool, but I don't think there's a massive issue taking out Haaland. You're getting 3 fixtures for one fixture if you take him out for someone like, again, Havertz or Watkins. Thanks for the content. What are your thoughts on Zinchenko? I still think... So my thoughts on Zinchenko is that I think he'll start, but I think he'll get an early sub. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start. I don't think he'll get 90 minutes because he played 120 minutes in Europe, and also he was holding his hamstring towards the end. We think it was cramped, but yeah, it worries me slightly with Zinchenko. I wouldn't be shocked to see Tierney start, but I'm not going to sell him just because I think there's a chance he does start. And if he does, it's a really nice fixture against Crystal Palace. Enzo or Almiron? Almiron's injured for 3 weeks, so don't bring an Almiron. The FE in Felix is pronounced the same as the FE in feather. Felix. So it's Felix. Oh, God, I'm butchering this name. Yeah, Almiron's out for 3 weeks, so I wouldn't be considering Almiron as an option. And you probably got to sell Almiron if you own him. Crystal Palace new manager bounce. Well, they're not going to have a new manager for this weekend. But yeah, like I said, the players could be trying to impress whoever the new manager is that comes in, potentially. Over 4,100 people here. Thank you very much if you're tuning in. If you've not subscribed to my channel and this is your first time here, hello. Please do subscribe to the channel and also drop a like on the stream. I would massively appreciate it. What are your thoughts on Watkins, captain? I don't dislike Watkins at all, but... well, I obviously like him as an option. For captaincy, his data's not quite as... actually, it's not too far off the likes of Saka, Kane, Tony. I don't hate it. Yeah, I've not got a massive reason to go against Watkins either. I think Saka, Kane, Tony, Watkins, all 4 of them are on penalties as well. Again, I love captaining a penalty taker. The fact that all 4 are on pens, I can't really suggest that any of them are bad options. I can't. I think Saka's probably got like the highest ceiling. Saka can just absolutely pop off with a couple of goals and assists. And obviously, it's a lot easier for a midfielder to get a high score than it is a forward. So maybe Saka's the one with the highest ceiling. But Kane, Tony, and Watkins are probably slightly more nailed for minutes. Are you activating the bench boost? Can you imagine just for Raya? And then Raya comes in with like a 15-pointer. I know for a fact that Raya's going to outscore Kepa and it's going to really annoy me with Raya sat there on my bench. It is what it is. Hey, Roz, is Wesley Fofana fit to start? I think so, but let me know if I'm wrong on that. If there's any Chelsea fans, please let me know. Fabian Schär. I think Fabian Schär was pictured in training, but I don't know if he's fully fit to play. We'll have to wait and see. Again, hopefully we get some early team news around Newcastle, because there are rumours floating around about Schär, Pope. Apparently Almiron's out for 3 weeks. We want to know about Isak. So hopefully we get some early team news around Newcastle. That would be useful. Sorry, guys. I've got a bit of a sore throat, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm coughing and keep muting the mic. Is it... Sorry, I lost that super chat. If already going to do Henry to Chilwell next week for a -4, then why not now so you get the better fixture this week? Also, opinion on Watkins and Trippier captain. I don't like Trippier captain. I think with all of the rumours that Fabian Schär could be out, apparently Pope could be. We'll have to wait and see if there's anything to that. It's away as well. Forest are really good at the City ground. I don't think I like Trippier captain. I don't mind Watkins captain. Around Henry to Chilwell, I've spoken about that a little bit already. I just think in a single week, I'm not 100% confident that Chilwell outscores Henry, and I don't know if I am going to do that next week either. I don't think that the fixtures are great for Chilwell. From a defensive perspective, I know they're both at home, but I don't think they're great for Chelsea. They play Liverpool as one of the fixtures. I don't know. I may end up doing Henry to Chilwell, but I don't think so. Are you free hitting next week? No, I think my free hit will either be in Game Week 32 is the most likely, and if it's not in Game Week 32... I'll free hit in either Game Week 34 or Game Week 37. But yeah, Game Week 32 is the most likely time for me to free hit. It's a blank week. Where's the... let me get the graphic up for you. Not that one. So in Game Week 32, it's Brighton, Chelsea, Manchester United and City are the 4 teams that are likely to blank. Let me just crop that camera because the green screen is showing. Actually, you know what? I'll just do that. That better? That's better. Yeah, so I'll probably free hit in 32 as a result. I just don't think that's a great week for my team currently. I'll probably have like 5, 6, 7 players blanking. Do you know if Martinelli is starting? I do not. He played 120 minutes, so there's a slight worry there. We'll have to wait and see. Am I crazy for holding on to Haaland? Feel like he could really punish people. If you think Haaland will do really well against Liverpool, I'm talking 2 or 3 attacking returns, then keep him. Otherwise, I would take the risk on someone like a Watkins or Havertz. But yeah, if you think Haaland will do really well next week, don't sell him because you're probably going to want to bring him back in Game Week 30 anyway. It's just, I think that the option is there to sell him, to get some extra fixtures and hope that the likes of a Watkins or a Havertz does really well over the next 2 weeks. Kane for the 2-pointer. Well, hopefully he's not going to get a 2-pointer. Fingers crossed. What are your thoughts on Haaland to Watkins? That's probably my planned transfer at the moment. I'm probably looking at Haaland to Watkins myself. What are your thoughts on Martinelli captain given his performance over the past few weeks? I would have been tempted. I'm just slightly worried after he played 120 minutes. Is he going to start? And if he does start, I would feel fairly confident that he's going to be the one that comes off early for whoever of Trossard and Jesus doesn't start. So I think with Martinelli, you're probably getting between 30 and 60 minutes this week. That's just my prediction. He could get 90 minutes again, but I just can't see it at the moment myself. Trossard captain, I don't hate it. Again, I think it probably will be a front three of Martinelli, Trossard, and Saka. But again, how many minutes is Trossard going to get? I think I would just go for Saka for safety of minutes. And if you don't want to go for Saka, I would go like Kane, Tony, or Watkins. Cheap midfielders suggestions. Billing could be a decent shout. Morgan Gibbs-White could be a decent shout. I think I'd probably go for one of those two. Is it worse having a -4 or only having 10 players? That's too general of a question. It depends who you're taking out, who you're bringing in, what your team looks like. It's too general to answer that, unfortunately. I would just look at each hit in isolation. Oh, the camera's gone already. It's not a good start, is it? What do you think of Haaland to Solanke? I don't like Solanke at all. Solanke's data is just not strong. Is Saliba's injury serious? I don't actually know. We can, if someone has an updated piece of info on Saliba, I don't think it's really serious, but I do think it looks like it will keep him out for game week 28. -4 to get Chilwell in. It really depends who you're taking out, to be honest, and if you think he's a really good option for the next couple. Hi Raptor, using my wildcard, thanks for the earlier vid. Glad to hear it helped you out. If you are on your wildcard or free hit, go back and watch that video and then come back to the live stream. I did release a video this morning where I went through wildcard and free hit. Where did you go? I'll be back in a second. My camera's just overheated. I just need to reset it. I know you can't see me. Don't panic. What do you think about Isak instead of Tony on a free hit? Like I said, my only worry about Isak is just that Nottingham Forest are actually really good at home. So are you confident that Isak outscores Tony against Leicester? I'm not 100%. I think if it was at home for Newcastle, I would be a lot more tempted by Isak. Would you do Estepinian to Chilwell for free? Yeah, I think that's definitely tempting, isn't it? I'd be tempted. I wouldn't do it for a hit, but I would be tempted for free. But again, I much prefer Estepinian's double to Chilwell's double in game week 29. One day we'll get a stream without the camera breaking. I'm going to get a new camera in the summer. Don't worry. I'm going to get a new camera in the summer. I will invest. Thank you to all of the generous super chats, because the generous super chats will be what I'll invest back into my camera. Caroline says, I just subscribed. Thank you very much, Caroline, and welcome to the channel. What are your thoughts on captaining Trippier? Again, if it was at home, I would be tempted, but I don't like captaining a defender against going to the City ground. Nottingham Forest are pretty good at home. Is it better to sell Henry or Estepinian for Chilwell? I think I prefer selling Henry to Estepinian, to be honest. I think you're going to want Estepinian long term, and you're going to want triple Brighton long term as well. So I think I would rather sell Henry. Any 11th players we should consider with Rashford, Estepinian, March, Matoma out? No, I don't think so. I want to keep my Brighton triple up in Rashford personally. What are your thoughts on Haaland to Watkins and March to Maddison? I think that sounds perfect, Hashir. I like it. It's confirmed Almiron and Wilson out today. Has that been confirmed? We'll have a look in a second on Twitter. Hi, Ross. Chilwell or Botman? Chilwell. Would you sell Henry for Chilwell -4? I may do it, but I don't think so. For free, yeah, probably. But for a -4, I'm not so sure. That rhymes. For a -4, I'm not so sure. I'm on a wild card this week. Is triple Brighton worth it? What about Arsenal? I would probably go for double Brighton on a wild card, and I'd probably go for 2 or 3. I would probably have 5 assets from Arsenal and Brighton. Maybe triple Brighton, double Arsenal, or triple Arsenal, double Brighton. You could go for 6. I think I would definitely have Saka. I would definitely have McAllister. I would probably have Estepinian as well, or maybe Matoma. I would definitely have at least a couple of Brighton assets, though. Chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Vanilla ice cream. What are your thoughts on Heung-min Son? I would have Son on a free hit, but I wouldn't be looking to transfer in Son myself personally. Is Fabian Schär injured? I think he's been pictured in training, but I don't know if he's fully fit. We haven't had any confirmation either way. Again, hopefully we get some early team news. Stick around, and maybe on the stream we'll get some early team news. Nottingham Lace Market or Nottingham Castle? We'll go Lace Market. Sell or keep Tony? I would keep Tony. If you're going to sell him, wait until the suspension comes in. I wouldn't be selling Tony this week. If you're on a wild card, maybe you consider going without him, but I wouldn't be selling him. Is Senesi an option as a cheap defender for the next 2 game weeks? Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Bournemouth have been a little bit better. I don't hate that. Are you staying with 9 starters? No, I'm going to be selling Haaland and I'll have 10 starters. Sell Ødegaard for Maddison. Yes, but not this week. I would sell Ødegaard for Maddison next week. I don't think you need to do that now. What do you think about Maddison captain? I think there are better captaincy options. Brentford away isn't an easy fixture. We don't know if he's on pens. I think it'll be Iheanacho on pens. No, I think there are better captains than Maddison this week, personally. Nike or Adidas? I'd go Nike. Why is Havertz a more popular option over João Felix? I just think he's slightly more nailed and he's on penalties are the 2 reasons. Their data is virtually identical. So I just think that Havertz edges it for expected minutes and also penalties. Hi, Ross. I just subscribed. Thank you very much, Ross. Fellow Ross. Who will you bring in for Haaland? It's between Havertz and Watkins for me, but I think João Felix, Isak, maybe Iheanacho are all good options. They would probably be my top 5. Isak could be a great differential. I agree. I don't dislike it at all. I'm not going to put anyone off Isak at all. Sell Estepinian for Chilwell, which will allow 3 Brighton midfielders. I just don't think I'll be going for 3 Brighton midfielders, though. Because who would I take out of my midfield? Maybe Saka, but I like Saka. Then I've got Maddison, Rashford, McAllister, and Matoma. I don't think I've got a spare midfield slot anyway, and I like Estepinian as an option. Let me kiss that bald head. You can kiss it if you want. I wouldn't advise anyone to kiss my bald head. Can you imagine in public just meeting someone and them just attacking me? Pint of Guinness on me, Ross. Appreciate the content. Thank you very much, Remy. I appreciate that. Guinness would be my choice as well. I do like a good Guinness. When I went to Ireland in the summer, I had a fair share of Guinness. So thank you very much, Remy. I appreciate that. What are the current transfer plans? Haaland to one of Watkins or Havertz is the plan. Do you have a Saliba injury update? I don't, unfortunately. Gabriel Jesus captain. I wouldn't feel confident enough that he's going to get enough minutes for me. But when he's back, I do really like Gabriel Jesus as an option. We know how good Jesus was pre-injury, especially for just accumulating really good chances and quite high expected goal involvement. Is Almiron injured? Yeah, apparently Almiron is injured for 3 weeks. So that is a slight concern. Yes, captaincy. Captaincy is an interesting one. I think Saka, Tony, and Kane are probably my top 3. I don't mind Watkins chucked in there as well. Like I say, I know I sound like a broken record, but I would go for a penalty taker. I think Kane's probably the one that's edging it for me at the moment, just for consistency. He just seems to get returns pretty much every week, and we know he also has like a 12 to 15 pointer in him as well. So for those reasons, I would probably lean just about Harry Kane, but I could end up changing. I could end up changing for sure. Is Gabriel Jesus injured again? Not as far as I know. He's just getting eased back in, I think. What are your thoughts on Martinelli out for Maddison? I wouldn't sell Martinelli. I wouldn't buy Martinelli. I wouldn't captain Martinelli. For me, Martinelli is a case of don't buy, don't sell, don't captain. Keep him if you have him. I hope that he starts. I don't think we're going to get early team news on Arsenal because they don't play until tomorrow. Or Sunday. Is it Sunday they play? When do Arsenal play? Yeah, on Sunday. So we're not going to get early team news. So I think just keep him. I wouldn't be selling him. Hi, Ross. You missed my super chat. Well, you need to tell me what the super chat was then, because it's gone now. Let me know what it was, Giandra. I don't even know how you pronounce it. Apologies for butchering your name. I'll look out for your name, though. With Arsenal sub risk for Martinelli and Saka, Tony Watkins or Kane as captain. Like I said, I think Harry Kane and Saka are the best two. I wouldn't be too worried about Saka's minutes. I think Tony's fine. I do really like Tony captaincy. Watkins for me is fine. I just don't think Watkins is going to get a monster haul now. I don't think Watkins has that monster score in him on a very regular basis. I feel like Tony, Saka and Kane have a higher ceiling. I think Watkins will continue to deliver and get consistent returns. I'm just not sure that he's going to get that kind of 17 points that we know Kane and Tony can, and we know Saka can as well. Haaland to Watkins, roll the other, play with 10. That sounds like a really nice plan, Kyson. I think you're spot on with that kind of plan. That'll be very similar to what I'm doing. Could Estepinian get rested after the international break? A lot of players could get rested after the international break. We've just got to hope that they don't. Is Morgan Gibbs-White a good option? I don't dislike it at all. If you're in the market for a cheap midfielder, you could definitely do worse than Morgan Gibbs-White. Absolutely. I can't decide between Havertz and Watkins. It's close, isn't it? It's close. Like, the data's not even that dissimilar between them either. Let me get the data back up. Oh, click the wrong button there. So 0.63 non-penalty expected goal involvement for Watkins, 0.65 for Havertz, both involved in just over one big chance per 90. There's really not a lot to separate them. Chelsea have the best fixtures in the league over the next four, I should say. Aston Villa have the second best fixtures over the next 4. The only thing which makes me lean Watkins at the moment is he's got slightly better expected minutes. He's the talisman for Aston Villa and everything's going through him, where I feel like at the moment Chelsea are a bit of a team, like they're all contributing. And also Watkins isn't going on international duty, so there's no chance of him being injured on international duty. Of course, he could get injured in training, but Havertz is going on international duty with Germany. So at the moment, because there's not a lot to separate them, I'm looking for those sort of minute details, and Watkins is just edging it for me. But again, I could change my opinion before the deadline. Also, I think Watkins has a slightly better fixture this week, although I don't think there's much again in it either. I only have 2 midfielders. What are your thoughts on Rashford for Harrison? No, I wouldn't do that. I would just play with 2 midfielders. I think you're going to want Rashford next week. I think Rashford will probably be the most captain player next week. Ross, on a wild card, should I go for Everson or Ward? I'd probably go Steele or Navas. I wouldn't go for either of the Leicester goalkeepers now, just because we don't know who's going to start. So I would go for Jason Steele or probably Navas. Could go for Raya, I suppose, but no, I would probably go Navas, you know. I'd be very tempted by Navas. Watching FP2 and FPL Raptor, what a time to be alive. Please do update me on Free Practice 2. If you're watching Free Practice 2, if you're watching F1 in the chat, just give me updates and I'll be reading the chat. Who's on pens for Leicester? Thoughts on Iheanacho? I think it will be Iheanacho. It's obviously Tielemans and Vardy are ahead, but neither of them will be playing. So it could be Iheanacho, it could be Maddison. I don't know. I would guess it would be Iheanacho, though. Henry to Chilwell, or are you saving the transfer? It would be for a hit for me because I'm going to be doing Haaland to one of Watkins and Havertz. Henry to Chilwell's for a hit. And I'm just not that. I'm not sure. Verstappen top as normal. Red Bull win. Cool, as you would expect. As you would expect. A Wobie to Maddison for a -4. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Ross, I don't have any Newcastle assets. Should I consider bringing in anyone? I think Trippier is obviously a great option, but I don't think you need to force that this week. Looks like Newcastle have got a few injuries. Like I said, Nottingham Forest are good at the City ground. I do think you're going to want at least one Newcastle asset long term because they're still performing okay, but maybe you don't need to force it this week. I know Nottingham Forest looks like a good fixture on paper, and I'm not saying it's a bad fixture. I just don't think you need to force it. What was your first free transfer? I've only got one free transfer this week. I made a free transfer last week. So I've only got one, and I've not yet made it. If you would switch Estepinian to Chilwell this week, you could go for triple Brighton mid in game week 29. I could do, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just keep Estepinian. I think Estepinian's a great option. I don't know why everyone's so keen to ship out Estepinian. I know he plays in Australia 4 days or 3 days before the first fixture of Game Week 29, but a lot of players do. A lot of players are going to be performing all over the world and then having to come back. I don't think Estepinian is going to be the most likely to be rested, especially because they don't have a natural left back to replace him. Shaw to Chilwell for a -4 gives me 11 players. Maybe, but Shaw's probably a slightly better option next week. I suppose with Casemiro out, I don't hate it. I don't know. I think a lot of people are desperately trying to strengthen their team for 28, but in doing so, massively neglecting Game Week 29. So, I guess it's up to you. I'm not sure I would be forcing that move. It's not that Chilwell's a bad option, but like everyone is, I've never seen any, like why are people going so mad over Chilwell? It's a decent fixture this week. Yes, he scored last week, but is it worth breaking your team to get Chilwell in? It's, again, Chilwell, in my opinion, is the best defender to own at the moment, but I don't know that I would be rushing it and forcing it. I think people are just getting a little bit of FOMO maybe with Chilwell. If you have to guess the EO for Watkins, Felix, Havertz, Nacho, what do you think they'd be? I know you say ignore EO, but what if you want to take a gamble to climb? Watkins, I would say, is going to be about 70%. I think Havertz will be at about 15%, Felix 10%, Nacho 5%. So I think Felix, Havertz, and Nacho will be very, very low. I think Watkins will be up there at 60, 70%. Julio says, how long is the international break? Like 2 weeks. So essentially, there won't be any Premier League football on the first weekend after Game Week 28, and then it'll be back on the second weekend. So it's like a 2-week break. What are your moves this week, mate? Coming from FPL Bond. Check me out, big lad. I will. It's going to be Haaland to one of Watkins or Havertz. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, Haaland to one of Watkins and Havertz is the plan. Adam Gray has become a Rap Tier member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And welcome to everyone that's become a Rap Tier member in this stream. If I've missed anyone, I do apologise. Is Castagna worth a shout? I don't hate it. I do worry that Castagna and Ricardo Pereira could be rested at some point, but I would expect them to play the most of the games. I think Ricardo Pereira's got the slightly higher upside, but maybe slightly lower projected minutes. I think I would just avoid the Leicester defence, though, probably. Adam says, would it be worth going Zinchenko to Chilwell this week for a -4 if you'd be making the same move next week anyway? Maybe, but if Zinchenko starts and gets 60, Crystal Palace have looked absolutely toothless in attack. I quite want to own an Arsenal defender. So I get the logic there, but unless it was confirmed to me that Zinchenko wasn't going to start, I don't think so. Do you think Martinelli will play 90 minutes? I would predict pretty comfortably that Martinelli won't get 90 minutes, no. I think there's a reasonable chance he starts. If he starts, I reckon he comes off around 60 minutes. If he doesn't start, I think he'll come off the bench. So, like I said, I think you will get between 30 and 60, 70 minutes for Martinelli this week. So I wouldn't sell him, but I wouldn't be captaining him probably. Adam has just become a member. Thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Raptier family. Lots of new members in this stream. I appreciate it. By the way, I'm just going to spam the link in the chat. I'm posting a load more, like all the time on my story. I'm going to be posting some pictures when I'm going to some events in the future. Go follow my Instagram at FPL__Raptor. If you're one of the 3,000 people in it that doesn't follow my Instagram, I promise it will be worth it. Go follow me over there. I would massively appreciate that. I'm also going to be doing some giveaways on Instagram too. So if you want to be involved in the giveaways, go follow me on my Instagram. Captain Watkins. I don't mind Captain Watkins, yeah. I don't hate it. I think he's my 4th favourite captain. At the moment, it's Kane, Saka, Tony, Watkins in that order for me. Are you getting Bruno in Game Week 29? I'm going to assess that. I want to see how we line up without Casemiro. Will it be like Sabitzer and Fred in the pivot? Will Bruno be playing as more of a number 8 potentially? Will Manchester United's build-up play be as good? We really struggle without Casemiro. So I don't know. I don't know at the moment if I'm going to get Bruno in Game Week 29. But the option is there to sell Saka and bring in Bruno. Darren has become a Rap Tier member. Thank you. Look at all the new members. This is awesome. I appreciate becoming a member, Darren. Thank you. How many minutes do you think Saka will get? It really depends on how the game goes. But assuming that Arsenal are winning quite comfortably, I think Saka could get an early sub. But I would predict between 75 and 90 minutes would be my prediction for Saka. Matthew says, is it worth doing Trippier or Chilwell for Tarkowski for a -4? Probably. It probably is, because you don't expect Tarkowski to keep a clean sheet there. So, yes, I would probably say just about, and I would probably lean Chilwell ahead of Trippier. So, yeah, I don't mind that, Matthew. Is Tony essential? I don't think Tony's essential, but I do think he's one of the best options this week. The issue we've got with Tony is Tony's on 9 yellow cards. So if Tony gets booked in Game Week 28, he misses both games in Game Week 29. So for that reason, I'm less convinced that Tony's essential. And I think if you don't own him, you could potentially just go without and bring in the likes of Havertz or Isak instead. Or Watkins. Adam says, new member here, appreciate the quality data-driven content and the occasional joke. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member too. Alonso is flying in FP2. That is what I want to hear. Love to see it. Love to see it. Don't forget to like the stream, nearly at 1K likes, and it really helps the algorithm so others can benefit from Ross's insight. Thank you, Frosty. Yes, please do drop a like. Make sure to subscribe as well. I would love to hit 65,000 subscribers in this stream. How far away are we? Okay, we're only 200 subscribers away from 65,000. So if you are someone in here that's not subscribed, apologies for always asking, but please do subscribe to the channel. It would be great to hit 65,000 today. Lieb or Libe or Libe, apologies for butchering your name again. You had Martinelli on your free hit draft yesterday, and today you're saying don't buy him. What has changed since? Did we get any news on him? Also, do you think James will start? Thanks, Ross. Cheers. It's a great question. I recorded that video where I gave my free hit draft before the Arsenal game, and Martinelli played 120 minutes. Trossard, Jesus, Saka, and Ødegaard all got less minutes. So it worries me that he got so many minutes. They could just go for a front three of Trossard, Jesus, and Saka, or potentially they could start Martinelli and just sub him off around halftime or around 60 minutes. So I just think his expected minutes now for Martinelli is lower than it was before. That doesn't mean you have to, like, by all means captain him, by all means own him, but it just worries me slightly that he might get reduced minutes. Can't wait for after the deadline. The show goes on. I can't wait either. I can't wait either. Just commenting to say hello. Hello. Thank you for commenting just to say hello. Are you going to get Chilwell in for Estepinian? I don't think I'll be buying Chilwell, no. Just got here, Ross. Are you doing transfers? Yes, I'll be selling Haaland this week, is my transfer. Ødegaard 100% starts. Yeah, Ødegaard 100% starts. I would feel fairly comfortable saying that Saka and Ødegaard will start every Premier League game for the remainder of the season. Those two are absolutely nailed on. It's those other two spots between Nketiah, Smith Rowe, Trossard, Martinelli, Jesus. There's like 5 players when they're all fit for 2 spots. You didn't answer his second question about James. Oh damn, what was the second question? Oh, do I think James will start? Yes, my prediction would be that yes, he does start, but I don't have any news around that, and I apologise. There's a chance he doesn't. But yeah, if I had to predict, I think James will start, but there's nothing other than just a bit of a gut feeling. I don't think we've had any news around Reece James. Have you a free hit model? I released a video earlier today where I went through a potential free hit draft. Feel free to go back and watch that. Papa Rap, is there any news on Brennan Johnson? If he's fit, is he worth a punt instead of Watkins for the next few weeks? If he's fit, I don't dislike that at all. Nottingham Forest Newcastle is the early kickoff, so maybe we'll get some early team news. I haven't heard anything yet on Brennan Johnson, but if Brennan Johnson's fit, I don't dislike that at all. Again, he's someone that's probably on penalties, decent enough data. A really nice double as well for Nottingham Forest in Game Week 29. I don't hate it. Are you playing with 10 players this week? Yes, I'll be playing with 10 players. Let me run a poll on how many players you'll be playing with this week. How many players will you have for this week? This is after transfers, okay? So this is after any planned transfers that you've got. How many will you have? Cool. I've just run a poll. Let me know how many players you will have for this week. 11, 10, 9, or 8 or less. Think I'll be starting with the elusive 5-2-3 formation. I like it. Are you going with Watkins or Havertz? I'm probably leaning Watkins at the moment, but I've not fully committed to that. So let's wait and see. John Lee has just become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. Do I need to change Matoma to McAllister in Game Week 29? No, I think you can just keep whichever Brighton midfielder you have. I think all three of them are great options. I don't think you need to start switching them around. Like I said, though, the issue with... I've run this poll just for a bit of fun, but the issue is quantity doesn't matter too much. It's more so quality. And you might have 11 players, but they might be 11 rough players. Someone else might have 8. But if there are better 8 players, then I would prefer to have 8. So I don't think the numbers is that important. Like, I've only got 10 players, but I'm really happy with the 10 that I own. So that's why I'm not overly fussed that I only have 10. Why did you choose the name Raptor? It's for Toronto Raptors. Hi, Ross. Would you agree that targeting Leicester defence this week is better than Southampton? Southampton look to have tightened up and they play at home. Yes, potentially. And I don't mind Tony captaincy. And I understand the logic behind that 100%. I'm just backing Kane. He's so consistent. He's so consistent. And Spurs aren't great. And Southampton have looked a little bit better defensively. Kane's just so consistent. I don't really want to back against him. Hi from Toronto. Big up to anyone that lives in Toronto. You don't own 10 players yet. I don't, but I haven't made a transfer. Hey, Ross, who should I captain? Again, captaincy this week is going to be quite split, but Kane is going to be the popular one. We'll run a poll for captaincy in a second. Go for whoever you fancy. I think any of the popular attacking options, Saka, Kane, Tony, Watkins. I don't really like Maddison particularly, but I don't hate it at the same time. So at the moment, 37% of those that have voted have 11 players. 54% have 10, 6% have 9, and then 3% have 8 or less. So I think the average amount of players this week looks like it will be about like 10.2, 10.3. I think it will be somewhere between 10 and 11 players for most people. But again, we don't know who those 10 and 11 players are. Some people might have like Nico Williams, Danny Ward, who might not even play this week. So numbers are a little bit misleading. Ross Baby, please respond. I've not been called baby on stream yet. Erdegaard, March to Maddison, free transfer. Yeah, I think March to Maddison sounds good, mate. I think March to Maddison sounds good. Hi from Saudi Arabia. Big love to Saudi Arabia. Good to see you in the chat. Are you bringing in Watkins? Probably, but it could be Havertz. Also, all of the casuals won't be included in that poll. That's also true, yeah. Most of the people that are in this stream are probably not a casual and they're probably quite an engaged manager. So the poll is slightly skewed for sure. For sure. Are you bringing in Watkins? I feel like I've answered that question 40 times. Probably, but not 100%. Get in there, Ross. I'm thinking of switching out Saliba, who is a good option. I already have Trippier, Botman, Chilwell, and me. Reece James, you could go to another Arsenal defender. You could go for a Leicester defender, I suppose. I'd be tempted by Reece James, though. Almiron is indeed injured. Looks like Almiron's out for 3 weeks, which isn't ideal for those managers that have already brought him in, unfortunately. Do you have any news for Fabian Schär's injury? I don't, unfortunately. I don't, which is a bit annoying. But I think I've seen the pictures of him in training. So I would predict that he's probably going to start. But I don't have any knowledge on that. How many free transfers do you have? I just have the one. Let me show you. So 1 free transfer, 3.2 in the bank. So the current plan at the moment is Haaland out for one of Watkins and Havertz, probably. Let's say it's Watkins. The team will look something like that, and I'll have 7.6 mil in the bank, which is just ridiculous, isn't it? They got the pricing horribly wrong this year. Is Nana Raptor still captaining Martinelli? As far as I know, yeah. As far as I know, she is. Hello from Hong Kong. Hello to everyone in Hong Kong. Rick Roll. Are you bringing in Havertz over Watkins because of the double game week 29? I don't think that Chelsea's double is that much better than Aston Villa's, but I do like the fact that it's at home for all three of the next fixtures for Chelsea. So yeah, I do think probably overall the fixtures are slightly better for Chelsea than they are for Aston Villa. Right, so I'm going to end that poll. I'm going to do a captaincy poll now. But like I said, it looks like most people will have somewhere between 10 and 11 players for Game Week 28. So I'm going to run a captaincy poll now. Make sure to vote in the chat. Game Week 28 captaincy. Oh, can't spell. Feel free to just comment in the chat who you're captaining to. I'm going to run a poll, but feel free to just comment if you'd rather do that. Game Week 28 captaincy poll. Ask your community. There you go, guys. I've just run a poll, so do let me know. What would your second choice goalkeeper be, excluding Kepa? I think Keylor Navas. I think Keylor Navas or Jason Steele, I don't mind. Who outside of that? Yeah, it would probably be Keylor Navas or Jason Steele. So like I said, do vote on that captaincy poll. Let me know who you are currently planning on captaining. Let me bring this back over here. Multitasking with all the things going on. I'm like, ooh, that was a big bit of lag. Oh, God, the lag as I'm trying to scroll. There we go. Get that back in place. Perfect. How nice is it to see a green arrow above my head as well? You guys might not care at all, but it's nice to see a green arrow above my head. Has been a while. It has been a while. Quite a few people captaining Watkins, so I think a lot of the people that have voted other on that poll, it's probably one of Havertz, Watkins, maybe Martinelli and Ødegaard, potentially. Are you planning any additional transfers? No, it's just going to be Haaland to a different striker is the only planned transfer. Do you think Martinelli will start? If I was to predict, yes. But that doesn't mean that I know anything around that. I do think he'll get reduced minutes. Like I said, I think you're looking at 30 to 70 minutes for Martinelli this week. If you had another free transfer, would you get Chilwell this week? Yes, I think I would. I think I would do Henry to Chilwell. If I had a second free transfer, I think Henry to Chilwell would happen. I just don't really like it for a -4. Maddison captain, I don't really like that much. Brentford have actually got pretty good defensive data. It's away, and he's not definitely on penalty. I don't think he'll be on penalties. I guess he could. I don't really like. I think there are better captains than Maddison this week. I don't mind Maddison captain in game week 29. I'm just not sure about it in 28. Would you keep Haaland and change Estepinian to Chile? 2 free transfers for game week 29. No, I think I'd rather sell Haaland than Estepinian. I really like Estepinian's double in 29. I know there's a small chance he misses the first fixture, but I do really like it. And like I said, after game week 29, Brighton have a further 3 double game weeks. One which is probably going to be in game week 31, game week 34, and game week 37. So I think you're going to want 3 Brighton assets for the remainder of the season. So that's why I'm not looking at selling any of my 3 Brighton. I'm very, very happy having McAllister, Matoma, and Estepinian moving forward. Hamilton is looking really slow, is he? Mercedes are just struggling, aren't they? Can we talk about Isak, please? He was a goal-scoring machine. Yeah, I like Isak. Like I said, I've been considering Isak myself. He's probably in my top 3 favourite options to bring in this week. I'm leaning slightly towards Havertz and Watkins instead. But I don't mind Isak. Got very good data. He's had good data across the season. When he plays, he looks good. He is probably on penalties for Newcastle as well. I don't hate Isak. I don't hate Isak. Will you be playing with 10 players or 11? I'll be playing with 10 players myself. Is Chilwell essential this week? No, not at all. Not in the slightest. No player's ever essential, but definitely not a defender. I don't think Chilwell's essential. Especially if you've got Kepa already. You're going to cover the Chelsea clean sheet. Unless Chilwell gets an attacking return and a clean sheet, he's not going to batter your rank too much. If he just gets a clean sheet and a couple of bonus points, you just hope that the player you would have instead, such as a Henry, maybe gets a clean sheet, and if not, a couple of appearance points. He's not going to be that far off of Chilwell. That isn't me sitting here and saying that I don't think Chilwell's a good option. Like I said, I think Chilwell's the best defender to own at the moment, in my opinion, but I don't think that you need to break your team to go and get him this week. Why are you picking Kane over Saka for captain? I think his expected minutes are slightly higher. I do think there's a chance Saka comes off early if Arsenal are winning the game. I suppose you could say that if Arsenal are comfortably winning, Saka's probably been involved. I just feel like Kane's a little bit more consistent than Saka. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that if Tottenham are to score, I think it's probably going to go through Kane. Hamilton is a second slower than Russell. Wowza. The bookies have Saka to score at 2.4 and Kane to score at 2.4. There we go. I think it's very difficult to separate Kane and Saka this week. And even Tony to some extent too. And Watkins. God, captaincy is really tough this week. I wouldn't mind any of those 4 options, truly. Hi, Ross. Are we underlooking Newcastle options? Double in 29 and a potential double with Brighton. I don't think so, because who are you going to own at the moment? Almiron's potentially out. Isak isn't a bad option, I don't mind. Then a lot of us have 2 Newcastle defenders anyway. So I don't think we're underlooking them. And I could potentially bring in Isak in game week 31. I think for now, I'm going to probably rock with one of Havertz or Watkins with the option of moving to Isak in 31. Luke Shaw or Henry or Estepinian on wildcard? I think Estepinian. I think I'd go Estepinian. Alpine faster than everyone except Red Bull and Aston Martin. I was quietly impressed with the Alpine car in game week, in the first race for the first Grand Prix in Bahrain. I was actually quietly impressed. Is Fabian Schär going to play? I don't know, but hopefully we'll get some early team news. I'll come back to you closer to the deadline. By the way, we have just under 50 minutes until the deadline, so do make sure that you're starting to think about locking in your team. Like I said, I know I'm spamming it a lot, but I'm posting a ton more over on Instagram. So go follow me over on Instagram at FPL__Raptor. I'm going to be doing giveaways. I'm using the stories, more real life posts. I'm going to a red carpet film premiere in next Thursday. So there'll be pictures from that on there. If you just want to see a little bit more FPL content from me and just general life stuff, go follow me over on Instagram. I'm going to be posting more and more over there at FPL__Raptor. Matty Cash in. I like Matty Cash as an option. I don't mind the Aston Villa defence at all. Although Bournemouth have been a little bit better recently. So I don't think it's like a fantastic fixture, but it is definitely a decent one. Would you do Pinnock to Chilwell for free? Yeah, I'd probably be tempted to do that. I don't think it's a must transfer, and especially if you think Brentford could keep a clean sheet against Leicester, I don't feel like you need to do that. But yes, potentially. I probably would do that for free in my team. David says, hey, Ross, hope all is well. All is well with me, David, thank you. Best option to replace Henry with... I forgot how to speak there. Best option to replace Henry with 1 million in the bank. 2 free transfers, thanks. I'd maybe make 2 transfers and try and stretch to Chilwell. If not, maybe Fofana if you think he's going to start. I don't know. I don't really like a ton of options for this week at that price that's also good for next week. I would probably just keep Henry and use one of your transfers on something else, to be honest. But I think Chilwell's the one you really want to stretch to. Stop trying to keep the stream viewers high and make the transfer. I will make the transfer. It's not to keep the stream viewers high. No one really cares. I think everyone's here more for my advice than my transfer. That's not why I did it. I made early transfers last week. I'm just having a little bit of a think. I'm probably, like I said, I'm probably 60% Watkins, 40% Havertz, but you guys know what I'm like. And I just want a little bit more time to think about it. That's all. If you are enjoying the stream, by the way, please do drop a like. We're almost at 1,000 likes, and make sure to subscribe. We are only 164 subscribers away from 65,000. So if you are someone that has not yet subscribed, only 164 subscribers left. Please do subscribe, and the camera is gone. Only 164 subscribers. I would massively appreciate you subscribing. Is Billing worth a punt? I don't mind Billing. I think Billing and Morgan Gibbs-White. If you're looking for two cheap midfielders, I think Billing and Morgan Gibbs-White are two decent options. No, I don't think Chilwell is essential, but I do think Chilwell is the best defender for this week and for future weeks as well. Havertz has more upside. Every match is a must-win. I guess you could say that, but again, Aston Villa are going to try and win every game as well. I don't think any team is going to score more goals just because they need to win. I think every week teams go out there to try and win. Today's the day that we see your chest. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe post-deadline will be this will be the time that I take off my top. Who knows? Billing for Matoma. No, I'm not convinced by that. Why the orange and black kit? It's the FPL Raptor logo colors. It's not black, it's like grey. It's the FPL Raptor logo colors. Ross needs money for a new camera, so super chat. You don't have to super chat. I'll just get a new camera at some point. I'll use my own money, don't worry. I'll use my own money. Best Almiron replacement. Who is the best Almiron replacement? At that cheaper price, like I said, it probably is Gibbs-White or Billing. But I do like... Oh, camera's still gone. I do... Yeah, it probably is one of them. The issue is a lot of the players that I want, like, for example, I would say McAllister's the best one, but they blanked this week. This is why it's so tricky to navigate 28 and 29. Son or Maddison captain? I wouldn't captain either, Simon, but if you were to, I would captain Maddison, probably. Is Watkins going into the squad? Yeah, it's very likely that Watkins will be going into the squad. The camera is becoming a meme. The camera is already a meme, Luke. The camera is already a meme. Ross is doing a John Cena again. Will we be getting early team news? I hope so, but at the same time, like Newcastle and Nottingham Forest aren't necessarily teams that people are desperate for team news for. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. Connell has done a super chat but not attached a message. I'll look out for your name, mate. If you just ask the message in chat, I can see that you've done a super chat but you've not attached a message. So I'll just look out for your name. Lynn says, now is a great time to take off that top. It is a decent time to take off the top. However, the camera's now back on. Imagine if I just appeared, the camera goes off, and I appear back and the top's off. The stream would go wild. Celeste Pinion or me? I genuinely think I would rather sell a Brentford defender than a Brighton one. Controversial, I know, because they don't have a fixture this week, Brighton, but I just don't think you want a Brentford defender for 29. It's just not a nice double game week. I know I say that as someone with Raya and Henry, but yeah, I don't really like the idea of selling a Brighton player this week, unless you plan on bringing that Brighton player back in game week 29, in which case then I like it a little bit more. Ross, would you take a -4 to go from Zinchenko to Chilwell? If you're confident that Zinchenko doesn't start, then maybe, but I'm not necessarily confident that that's the case. I think there's a good chance Zinchenko does start, in which case Zinchenko to Chilwell for a -4 this week feels like something that could really backfire. Because the Arsenal defence is slightly better. The Arsenal fixture is decent too. So unless you've got some sort of inside knowledge that you know Zinchenko isn't going to start, I probably wouldn't make that move. Maddison or Chilwell free transfer? I think this week I prefer Chilwell. In game week 29, I probably prefer Maddison. So it's your call. It's your call. But yeah, I think overall, probably Maddison feels like he has the slightly higher ceiling. Again, there's not much to separate them, to be honest. Maddison has never blanked versus Brentford. I don't know if that stat's correct, but I'm going to trust you and assume you've not lied to me. Interesting. I don't know how many times he's played Brentford, to be fair, but interesting stat. What is your thoughts on Villa's double? It's okay. It's not great, especially defensively, but Watkins is their talisman. You would expect that they will still score goals because you just not expect them to blank completely. And if they do score goals, it's probably going to be him involved. I don't mind bringing in a talisman with difficult fixtures because you still expect that team to score. And if they are a talisman for their team and they're involved in a high percentage of that team's goals, it probably doesn't matter as much the fixtures. Saka captain. I don't mind it. There is a captaincy poll in the chat. So if you would like to vote on the captaincy poll, please do. At the moment, Kane is winning with 68%. Then it's Saka with 18%. Then Tony with 8%. And then other with 6%. So if you are looking to be protective and protect your rank and you don't want to take a risk, Kane is the captain for you. If you want to take a risk, Saka, Tony, Watkins, Havertz, they're all going to be very, very lowly captained. So it's up to you the way you want to play the game. Maybe you just don't want to look at ownership at all, which I appreciate if you're that sort of person. At the moment, I'm on Kane captain. Going to roll the dice with Saka captain. Good luck. Son captain. It's a real risk. He's really not been great this season. But if you want to go for it, go for it. Why Kane over Saka? I think it's basically a coin flip. I've just got a bit of a gut feeling about Kane against Southampton. But yeah, there's not a lot to separate Kane and Saka. Just trust your gut in that case because the data is very similar for the two of them. It's similar for Tony, Watkins, Kane and Saka. There's not a lot to separate any of them. The defenses are all pretty equally poor, to be fair, that they're playing. I guess Kane is the only one that's got an away fixture. Whether you think that's good or bad, I'll let you decide. Kane has never blanked versus Southampton. That's a lie because Kane blanked against Southampton this season. I think Spurs won 4-1, didn't they? And Kane blanked completely. So I'm pretty sure that is a lie. Spin the wheel. You guys want to see the wheel? I can spin the wheel. Let me get the wheel. The wheel. It's this one, isn't it? Here we go. Here comes the wheel of destiny. These were our choices last week. Right, this is for captain, all right? Kane. Saka. Havertz. Oh, Havertz. Tony. Watkins. These are going to be the captaincy options. I know there are other ones as well, but this is what we're going to rock with, okay? First to 2 wins. So first player to 2 is the one you need to captain, okay? Okay. Havertz. That's fine. We'll spin again. This should be called the Plate of Fate. Oh, I like the Plate of Fate. Yeah, let's call it the Plate of Fate. Why not? Saka. Okay, that's fine. I've captained Watkins. I like Watkins as an option. I don't dislike that at all. Maybe the will listen to us as we say that. Oh my God, it's all right. It's Tony now. Right, we'll spin again. Add Raya to the wheel. Why would I add Raya? No one's captaining Raya, surely. Raya's on my bench. Okay, Saka. The plate of fate or the wheel of destiny or whatever you want to call it is suggesting the disc of destiny. Let's call it I like the disc of destiny. The disc of destiny has suggested that Saka is the correct captaincy choice. So there we go. Do with that information what you want. If you want to trust the disc of destiny, you decide. But the disc of destiny is telling you that Saka's the one. Henry and Estepinian to Mings and Chilwell. I don't feel like you need to sell Henry for Mings this week, do you? Unless you need the money to do Estepinian to Chilwell. I would just do Henry to Chilwell, David. If you can afford Henry to Chilwell, I'd just do that. In the disc, I trust. In the disc, if you trust the disc, then go for it. Saka's the one, according to the disc. Who did it say last week? I think it said Solly March last week, which actually ended up being correct. I think it said Solly March, which ended up being correct. So there we go. Actually, Tony slightly outscored him. But, you know, they all score very similarly. When is the deadline? The deadline is in 39 minutes. Is that correct? No, it's not, is it? Yeah, 38 minutes now. 38 minutes until the deadline. Who are the 3 best Arsenal assets on a free hit? I think probably Ben White, surprisingly, just because Tomiyasu came off injured. I don't know, maybe Ramsdale, actually. Ramsdale, Saka. Ramsdale, Saka, and Ødegaard are probably the 3 safest options for minutes anyway. Connell says, Estepinian to Chilwell, I would transfer from Haaland to Watkins, etc. But I'm happy with 10 game week players, and I have 2 free transfers for game week 29 for the international break. Again, I like the idea of keeping Estepinian, but Estepinian to Chilwell for free seems like a relatively low-risk move. So yeah, I don't mind that at all, Connell. And that's a really good position to be in, having 2 free transfers for the international break, because I guarantee something will happen over to the international break that will mean that you'll need one of those or both of those free transfers. Long-term, McAllister or Matoma, 29 to 32 outlook. I still think it's McAllister, unless he drops deep, but I don't see any reason that would happen anytime soon. So I would say McAllister is still the best option. The data is just so strong for him. Salah to Maddison for a -4. Yeah, why not? I would go for that. Which forward should I get from Chelsea? I slightly prefer Havertz, but I don't mind Felix, is apparently the way you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't mind Felix. Felix. That sounds so strange. What would you do for a wildcard squad? I actually have a wildcard squad here. That would be roughly what I would do for a wildcard squad. If you're wildcarding in game week 28, this would be roughly what I would be rocking with. Maybe I would remove Zinchenko now. Maybe I would go for someone else instead of Zinchenko. Although this is a long-term team, so I don't hate it. Maybe just go for... I don't know, you could go for like Reece James instead of Zinchenko. I don't mind Reece James instead of Zinchenko in there. But then you would have to take out Kepa, because you've already got the triple Chelsea. I don't know. You can maybe go for someone else instead of Zinchenko, but otherwise, yeah, that would be roughly what I would be going for a wildcard 28 bench boost 2019. Hopefully that helps for those of you that are on a wildcard. Best Arsenal midfielders for this week. Like I said, I still think Ødegaard and Saka are the safest 2. Martinelli and Trossard have such high upside, but I just don't know. With Jesus, Martinelli, Trossard, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah, there's a lot of options for a few spots there. Obviously, this week, I think it will probably be between Martinelli, Trossard, and Jesus. 2 of them will start. It's just there's going to be rotation, and I'm just not sure I would be willing to risk it. I don't know how much it's worth it when Ødegaard and Saka are such great options. What about a free hit team? I think I built this free hit team, but I would probably change a couple of the picks now. I would probably go for Ødegaard instead of Martinelli. Maybe that's the only change I would make. But yeah, I probably wouldn't have Martinelli anymore, personally. Yeah, other than that, I think it's fine. But that's roughly what I would be doing on a free hit. Rosh, you missed my super chat earlier. Apologies, Jamie. Was before my Henry and Estepinian question. Thanks. Just ask me the question again. because I can't see it. Oh, I see it. Sorry, I've just found it. Thoughts on March to Madison this week? No, that's a different one. Okay, I'll still answer this one. Thoughts on March to Madison this week, then bringing McAllister in for Martinelli next week. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Would result in a -4 for GAMEWEEK 29, but an extra fixture in 28. Yeah, I like the sound of that, Jamie. I like the sound of that. Ross, Watkins or Havertz? Come on. I'll decide in like 10, 15 minutes which way I'm going for that. Are you going to be free hitting soon? I'll probably be free hitting in either GAMEWEEK 32 or GAMEWEEK 34, but I am yet to decide that completely. But GAMEWEEK 30, I would say I'm 70% likely to free hit in 32. I'm, yeah, maybe like 20% in GAMEWEEK 34 and then maybe like 10% in GAMEWEEK 37. Just looking at the fixtures, but that could change. The free hit could be played in just a random week. What's your updated wildcard team? I just went through, just run the stream back like 3 or 4 minutes and you can see my updated wildcard team. So there is just over half an hour until the deadline, so plenty of time to still get your questions in. Do feel free to ask your questions in the chat. And like I said, we are very close to 65,000 subscribers. We are only 131 away. So if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And drop a like on the stream as well. Ødegaard or Madison? Madison. Thinking of bringing in March Matoma next week. Which one? I still think March is a slightly better option than Matoma myself. I think March and McAllister are the best two Brighton midfielders. Kepa or Raya, please answer. I'm going Kepa. I think Kepa's got the slightly better fixture. Is this your final team? No, I'm still going to be making one further transfer, which will be, or just one transfer, I haven't made any yet, which will be Haaland to Watkins or Havertz. So Watkins or Havertz will be making their way into my team for Haaland. Is Havertz captain viable? Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I'd be happy captaining Havertz for sure. I mean, I think there are slightly better options this week, but there's not a lot to separate the captaincy options in my opinion. If you had Chilwell, would you start Raya over Kepa? No. I don't think that would influence my decision. I think I would still start Chilwell and Kepa. Rossi boy, I hope you're good. I'm all good, Abdullah. Thank you for being here. Martinelli captain. I don't hate it. I think if he starts, he'll do well, but it would put me off slightly that he played 120 minutes in Europe on yesterday. Who is the best Almiron replacement? I think if you're looking for a cheaper midfielder, it's probably Billing or Morgan Gibbs-White as the two cheapies. I do really like the Brighton midfielders still, but of course they don't play this week. So McAllister, Matoma, March are still great, but you're not going to get a player this week. Thank you for answering. Please give me a shout out. Big shout out to Zen Saluja. Probably butchered your name, but big shout out. Ian Smith has become a Rap Tier member. Thank you very much, Ian. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Rap Tier family. I've just subscribed. Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate you subscribing. That's very kind of you. Ross, please help. Should I remove Rashford for Maddison? I wouldn't remove Rashford. You're going to want him back next week. He's probably the best captaincy option in GAMEWEEK 29. So no, I would not be removing Rashford personally. It doesn't matter if you've not got 11 players. As long as you're happy with the players that you've got, I think it's absolutely fine. I won't have 11 players in GAMEWEEK 28 either. Good evening, Ross. I'm captaining Maddison and I'm feeling good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Best of luck with it. I hope it goes well for you. Just subscribed. I love your channel. Thank you very much, Sahil. Welcome. Please, can I ask you if 9 players is enough? I'm feeling vulnerable. As I've said repeatedly, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. As long as you've got the likes of Kane, Saka, maybe Maddison, Tony or Watkins, you've got a couple of decent defenders, I think you'll be fine. I don't think the number of players is massively important. Philip Billing for March. I don't hate it. I still don't think Billing's an excellent option, but he's not a terrible one. He's probably slightly better than Solanke. I don't hate it. JK17 says, could you please give us a quick word on if it's on whether you would do wildcard or free hit versus in GAMEWEEK 28? I prefer wildcard in Game Week 28 just because I feel like your wildcard and free hit teams aren't going to be too dissimilar. I feel like they'll be very similar, which means that you can essentially save your free hit by just wildcarding this week. So I feel like if you free hit this week, I don't think there's much value in saving the wildcard because I don't think there's a better potential opportunity in the future. So basically, I prefer wildcard to free hit this week if you've got both. Any update on Fabian Schär? Nothing. I've seen pictures of him in training, but we don't know if he's fit. I'm hoping for early team news, but I'm not particularly optimistic, sadly. What is your wildcard squad? I've released a video and I've already spoken about my wildcard squad in this stream. So if you want to go see my wildcard squad, go watch the video that I released this morning. I talk about wildcard and free hit in detail. If you want my wildcard team, go watch that video. I won't mind you leaving the stream to go watch that video instead. That's absolutely fine. Is Miguel Almiron out? Yes, he is. Let me get up the tweet. Where was it? Andy retweeted it, didn't he? Here's the tweet. Miguel Almiron apparently out for 3 weeks after suffering an injury in Newcastle's training. Let me just do that. So yeah, Miguel Almiron's out. So if you own Almiron, you probably got to sell him. Definitely don't look to bring him in or have him on your free hit or anything like that. Is Gabriel Jesus a good pick? I do think Jesus will become a good pick again very soon, but I don't think you want Gabriel Jesus for this week. Even if he starts, I don't know how many minutes he'll get. I feel like Gabriel Jesus is an option from sort of game week 30, 31 onwards because he's not got a double next week, so you probably won't want him next week. Maybe in game week 32, but if you're free hitting in 32, maybe not. For me, it's probably not until game week 33 I'd own Jesus. But again, because they don't have any further doubles this season, I'm probably not looking to own many Arsenal assets moving forward. Last minute did Chilwell for Estepinian for free. Can always bring him back in for Pinnock next week. Yeah, that's absolutely fine, Dave. Sounds like a fine transfer to me. Chilwell captain to gain rank or stick to Saka. I don't own Kane. I prefer Saka, Amir, but if you've got a gut feeling about Chilwell captain, go for it. Verstappen, Alonso, Perez, FP2 just finished. Cool. So Alonso split the Red Bull cars. Nice. Yeah, Aston Martin and Red Bull just look quite comfortably ahead at the moment, don't they? Nine players and 2 free transfers. Is it worth saving one for next week? 9 players and 2 free transfers. Is it worth saving one for next week? Yes, I would just I would use 1 free transfer, have 10 players, and then roll the second for next week, Louisa. I think that sounds like a good plan. I don't think you need to get 11 out this week. I feel like there are some really aggressive moves that you could make next week with 2 free transfers. And it also allows you to react to anything that happens in the international break as well. So yeah, I would be tempted to do that. Cash says, team is the same as yours. March out instead of Matoma. Haaland and March out for Watkins and Erdegaard for a -4 to play 11. Bring back March next week for the bench boost. I would just keep March personally. Like I could do McAllister or Matoma to Erdegaard, but I don't feel like it's worth doing a hokey cokey there, especially if you're thinking of bringing March back in next week anyway. I don't particularly see the value in taking out a Brighton mid to bring a Brighton mid back in. I know it means that you don't field a full 11 this week, but I don't think that's a terrible issue. Chris says, pretty sloshed at this wedding and needing to make my transfers. Is it safe to bring in Watkins and Chilwell? Who's the captain for this week? I think you're safe to bring in Watkins and Chilwell, and I think the captain's between Saka, Tony, and Kane. For me, it's probably going to be Harry Kane. Hope you enjoy the rest of your wedding, Chris. Not your wedding. Hope you enjoy the rest of the wedding. Apologies. Trina says, Raptor Babe, I'm in a bit of a pickle. That doesn't sound very good. Bench is full, and I've got Rashford and Haaland on the pitch. Already taken a -4. Should I switch out Rashi or Gabriel for Maddison or Haaland for Watkins this week? Trina, I feel like Haaland to Watkins is the safe play for me. I know Haaland could do very well next week, but you're getting 3 fixtures for the price of 1, or for the one that Haaland would have. I would do Haaland to Watkins. That would be my play there. Thanks, Raptor. You are welcome, Chris. No worries at all. When do we get early team news, if any? Let me have a quick look if I can see anything on Twitter. I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't seen anything yet. No, I've got a feeling we're probably not going to get early team news, to be honest. We're probably not going to get early team news. If we were, we probably would have had an inkling that someone was saying we'd have early team news soon. So I'm going to say for now that we're probably not going to get early team news. But by all means, wait. By all means, wait another 10 minutes or so before deciding. Is it essential to have 11 players this week? Absolutely not. I think 9, 10 is absolutely fine. Watkins for captain, I don't dislike at all. I'll let you know. So the captaincy poll at the moment, there's been 5,200 votes. We've got Kane with 68%, Saka with 18%, Tony with 8%, and then other with 6%. And most of the others were Havertz and Watkins. So Kane is definitely the most popular captaincy choice this week. So it depends what's more important to you. EO, ceiling, the fixture, home and away. You've really got to decide what you value in a captaincy choice. Sean says, can you wish Chris and Johnny a happy St. Patrick's Day? Of course I can. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Chris and Johnny. And thank you for the super chat, Sean. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone watching as well. Kepa or Pope? Kepa for me. I like the home fixture. Henry for Chilwell for a hit. I would say just about no. I would say just about no, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Captain Martinelli this week. I just think due to the fact that you got 120 minutes in Europe, I'm going to say no to Captain Martinelli, but I don't hate it. If you want a Captain Martinelli, by all means, go for it. Mate, Navas and Fofana or Kepa and Pereira? I think I would go Kepa and Pereira. Ward, Everson, Areola. Need them for game week 32 also. Can you afford Navas instead? I wouldn't touch the Leicester goalkeepers because apparently Everson could be starting in game week 28, but we don't know long term. Areola, I'm not 100% convinced on either. I would try and stretch to Navas if you can, if he's an option. Best options for goalkeeper on the free hit. Best options for goalkeeper. Probably one of Kepa, Ramsdale, or Pope, depending on what other players you own. I would probably go for Kepa or Ramsdale on the free hit. FPL El Hadri says, Haaland Matoma to Kane Buendia, or Haaland Salah to Kane Maddison. Or Haaland to Kane and fill 10 and roll the transfer. I think Haaland Saka to Kane Maddison sounds good to me. That would probably be the way I would lean. Ross, it's been 15 minutes. You need to decide on your transfer. I do need to decide on my transfer, don't I? That would be useful. I like giving myself as long as possible. Chris says, one part of me is saying Tony captain, but the other part of me is saying Saka captain. How do I figure out which part of me to go with? Go onto Google, do a virtual coin toss, and when the coin is flipping, or as the coin lands, decide what you want to do there. Because what you'll have is you'll get your natural gut feeling. So as the coin's flipping or as it lands on heads and says that Tony is the correct captaincy choice, if you feel that little bit of regret or you're like, maybe do I want to flip again? Well, then that probably means you weren't wanting to captain that player. So a coin flip is a really good way to try and find out what your gut feeling is on a particular decision. Or just use the wheel of choices. Yeah, let the disc of destiny decide for you. Let the disc of destiny decide. Do you have positive or negative variance this season? I think generally positive variance. Yes, but I'm drunk, Raptor. Does that help? That doesn't help, Chris. No, that doesn't help. Am I crazy for giving Jesus captain? I think it's a little bit crazy considering that he's very unlikely to get any more than 60 minutes and he might not even start. I mean, I would predict that he doesn't start. So I think you're probably looking at 30 to 45 minutes for Jesus. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be captaining Jesus personally. Who do we think then, chat? Let me know in the chat right now. Should it be Watkins or should it be Havertz for me? Do you know what? I'm going to run a poll. Let's run a poll. Who should I bring in for Haaland? Watkins, Havertz, Isak, Felix. Let's run that poll. Right, there should be a poll arriving with you very soon on who I should transfer in that Haaland spot. Watkins, Havertz, Isak, or Felix, however you want to pronounce it. I will give you approximately 4 minutes to decide before I make my transfer. I will do whatever the poll tells me to do. Ross, thank you so much for this week. A lot of Irish really appreciate it, especially today. You're more than welcome. I'm glad that I could help you with your decisions every single week. If there's anything I can do to help you guys, I would do that. How are you doing in your cups, Ross? I think I'm knocked out of all of them, unfortunately. Does it make sense to take a hit for a defensive transfer? I tend to not like making a defensive transfer for a hit, just because if they keep a clean sheet, they're still only going to get you like a couple of extra points. So no. Unless you think they're a really good option for the next few weeks, then maybe. Guys, you are going to regret taking out Haaland when he bags a hat-trick against Liverpool. If that happens, yes, I will absolutely regret taking out Haaland for sure. Absolutely. Of course we will. We don't want Haaland to score against Liverpool, essentially. I can't decide between Saka and Kane. Fine, I'll do it for you guys. Best of 3, okay? It's happening. We're gonna run a best of 3. Do you know what? I'm gonna put Tony in there as well because I think Tony's good. Best of 3 for captaincy, okay? And then this is the official decision. So basically, first to 2. First to 2 for these. Oh, that was close. That was very close. Okay, Kane's on 1. Whoever the will suggests is the one to go for. I hope you appreciate that. The Disc of Destiny. Tony is now on 1. The dopamine of that will. Okay, so Kane's on 1, Tony's on 1, Saka is not yet on 1. It's Kane. It's Kane. The Disc of Destiny. The Disc of Destiny says Kane. Okay? So, there you go. Yes, Almiron did get injured in training, and Almiron is out for 3 weeks. So, don't buy Almiron. Jackie says, Almiron to Ødegaard or Rodrigo for a -4. I would go for Ødegaard, probably. Although Rodrigo does have the double. I would go Ødegaard still, probably. Is it not a wheel? It is, but I can't pronounce that word. We found out that I can't pronounce W-H-E-E-L. And because I can't pronounce it, we call it the Disc of Destiny. To save the embarrassment of me trying to pronounce a 5-letter word. In my own language as well, nonetheless. What are your opinions on Isak? I really do like Isak. I just think there are a couple of better options this week for me. I think Arsenal are going to go ham on Palace, so I'm captaining Saka. Good luck. Good luck. You've not got long left. I don't have 4th in my mini league. It depends who 1st, 2nd, and 3rd own, but I assume you're suggesting that 1st, 2nd, and 3rd don't own Maddison, and this would give you a little boost. I think Maddison's excellent. It depends who you're taking out as part of the -4, and it depends what your general strategy is. But I think over the next 3 fixtures, I fancy Maddison to get a haul in one of them. When he'll get that haul, I have no idea. But I do fancy Maddison to do fairly well. Can you guys stop abusing me for not being able to pronounce that word? I clearly can't pronounce it. Just leave me alone. Let me pronounce the word how I want to pronounce the word. Maddison out for Salah. It's a good question. Maddison out for Salah. I assume you meant Maddison in for Salah. Yeah, I would do it. Screw it. Bring in Maddison. We're all on the Maddison hype train. Do you think you'll be selling Saka in the near future? There is a small chance I sell Saka in 29, but I might just keep him. He's so good, isn't he? He's on penalties, decent data. He's been very, very good this season. I'm not going to rush Saka out of my team. Let's just put it that way. What word can't you pronounce? W-H-E-E-L. I say wheel. Wheel. And people say I pronounce it like will. Will and wheel. Wheel. Wahil. I can't pronounce that word. Isaac, Watkins, and Tony for a -4. Isaac, Watkins, and Tony for a -4. Yeah, that sounds like a perfect front three, although I would want Kane in there as well. Max has said, try to catch the videos where I can. I haven't listened to a stream in a while. Was going to do Almiron in, but as I switched on, you gave me the news. Yeah, Almiron's out for 3 weeks. No worries about not being able to catch the videos, though, Max. I appreciate all the streams. I still appreciate you being here. Wahil sounds good. Okay, there you go. That's how it's pronounced, is Wahil. I used my free transfer for Almiron already. What should I do? Well, I would take him back out for a hit. Doesn't look like he's going to be fit for this game, so you might as well go for it. He probably isn't going to be fit for game week 29, but I guess there's a chance he's back for 29, so maybe just keep him on the bench, but I would probably just take him straight back out. 3 weeks or 3 game weeks? It's 3 weeks. So like I said, there is a chance that he is fit for one or both of the fixtures in 29. It's just not looking particularly promising at the moment. Right, we've only got 13 minutes, so I feel like I need to make my decision. Chat, you have got 30 seconds to convince me of either Watkins or Havertz. Give me your best arguments in the next 30 seconds as to why it should be Watkins or as to why it should be Havertz that I transfer him. I want to hear all of the arguments, and then I'm going to make my move. Isaac is clear. It's not a bad argument. Havertz has 3 home games. Chelsea have the better attacking data. Havertz is a dud. Havertz has the higher upside. Penalties, yeah, but they're both on penalties, so I don't think that's particularly... don't think that matters. Yelena likes Watkins. I like that as a reason. Yeah, I don't dislike that. Havertz is a differential. It's true. It's true. Right, I think I've committed. I think I know what I'm doing. The moment of truth. It's going to be Watkins. I just feel like he's a little bit safer for minutes. I don't want to take too many risks at the moment when we've got an international break, and I just think that Watkins isn't going on international duty. Havertz is. I feel like Havertz with the Champions League coming back in could become a risk too, and I want to make sure that I can potentially keep this player long term. So for those reasons, I'm going to do Haaland to Watkins. And that is it, done. Nice and sensible. Not like me to be nice and sensible, but there we go. And I'm happy with the team, and I'm playing with 10 players. What do we think, chat? Are we happy with that decision? Do we think that's generally the best? Disappointed to join and only see the stream at 1,100 likes. But I just brought in Watkins, Yelena, so life is good. Life is good. Watkins is in the team. Watkins is never long-term. Don't you disrespect Watkins like that. You don't know. You don't know. Watkins is going to continue scoring. W for Watkins. Watkins is the best. Nice team. I'm happy with the team. Yelena thinks Watkins is cute. She does think Watkins is cute. She thinks Ben Mee's cute. She thinks Watkins is cute. Who else does she think's cute? I think that's it. Do you still have 1 transfer? No, that's me done. I only had 1 free transfer this week. So, Ryan, Ryan, you seem really needy there. What? Cool. We might be okay. I think we're gonna. Right, we should be back now. Goodness me! Thank you for sticking around. If you did for the stream just died, I don't know what happened. My OBS just died, so it's restarted now. Hopefully we're okay. I lost. Okay, we lost 80% of people watching. Hopefully we're now back and we're fine. Is he on the FPL servers? I think so. FPL servers are sorting my OBS stream out. Right, you've got 9 minutes until the deadline. 9 minutes to make your choices and your decisions. Let me know if there are any last-minute questions to decide. I don't know what happened there, chat. That's never happened to me before. OBS just completely died. Stream's broken, Yelena's crying. I think she'll survive. I think she'll survive. Right, hopefully it's back then for you guys. James over Chilwell. No, I think Chilwell's the one to go for. I think Chilwell's the one to go for. Your team will get 89 points. That's my prediction. I would rock 89 points in a single game week. I don't hate that at all. Pinnock to Chilwell for a -4. Yeah, I probably wouldn't, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Would you sell Salah for Maddison? Yes, I probably would sell Salah for Maddison. I've got a good feeling about Maddison over the next couple of game weeks. But then again, I am very biased towards Maddison. You guys know that I love Maddison. Maddison did so well for me earlier on in the season. He was one of the main reasons that I went up to 500th in the world. Sorry, that's never happened. Frosty said, sorry, that's never happened to me before is a phrase you've used before. Oh, I've used that many a times. And it definitely has happened before. Did you see my super chat as the stream died? Don't lie. The super chats, did I? If you had 2 free transfers, would you bring in Chilwell? Yes, sorry. The answer to that question is yes. The answer to that question is yes. How long we got? 6 minutes until the deadline. Make sure you get yourself locked in. I wanted to take a screenshot of my team. Is triple Newcastle defence too risky? I don't particularly like it this week, but long term I think it's okay because you won't need to play them every single week. Hi Ross, who do I captain out of Tony and Watkins? I think I prefer Tony captain to Watkins captain personally, but I don't dislike either of them. Will you be bringing back in Haaland? Yes, in game week 30 or 31, but probably in game week 30 is the plan. Right, let's screenshot the team. Rocking with 10 players this week, and I'll get the team tweeted out. Does no one fancy Tony captain? Leicester have been awful. Yeah, I actually really like Tony. I'm actually quite jealous of people that are captaining Tony, but I feel like I've committed to Kane at this point. I don't like making last-minute changes to my captaincy. So, yeah, by all means. I think Yelena's captaining Tony. If she's still in the chat, she can let us know. There are a few content creators that are going for Tony captain, and I don't hate it at all. Let me just get my team tweeted, and then I'll go back to answering, just so that people can know before the deadline. Newcastle team has been leaked. Has it? Let me have a look. 2 seconds. Watkins captain. Yeah, Watkins captain is fine. Captaincy, just choose whoever you want. As long as they're a decent player and you think they're going to start, I don't have an issue with captaining anyone this week, to be honest. Right, let me have a look if I can see anything early team news-wise. Someone just said the Newcastle team has been leaked. I can't see anything yet. You know the drill, chat. You know the drill. Go and like this tweet. This is on the Raptor Bingo. Go like this tweet to boost my ego. And go follow me over on Twitter. We're approaching 100,000 followers on Twitter. I would love to hit that by the end of the season. So go love me over there. Go show some love. If you had another free transfer, what would you do? If I had another free transfer, I would do Henry to Chilwell. FPL Focal has tweeted about a team, has he? Let's have a look. I can't see anything. I can't see any early team news on Newcastle at the moment, guys. So just go with whatever you think. Your ego is big enough. Your ego is big enough already. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, someone's giving me the handle of the team. Let's have a look. Apparently the team has Trippier, Botman, Cher, Pope, Isak all start. I'm not going to share this team because it's not from anyone particularly reliable. But from what I can see, Isak, Trippier, Botman, Cher, Dan Burn, and Pope all start. So all of the players that you would want start, but I'm not going to share the team because I don't know if it's reliable enough. I'll just say that that's what the leak says. Okay, that's what the leak says. But whether you want to trust that or not, it's with an account with barely any followers. I don't know the account. So, yeah. Keep one free transfer for game week 29 or switch Martinelli to Maddison. I would keep Martinelli this week, and I would keep a free transfer for game week 29, John. The only controversial bit in there is Longstaff starting, who was supposedly injured. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to share it then. I'm not going to share it then. Yeah, a couple of people are saying Isak starts, but I don't know that for certain. A couple of people are saying Fabian Schär starts. I wouldn't know for certain, and that leak isn't from an account that I've seen before. If it was from an account I'd seen before, I'd tell you. I'd tell you to trust it, essentially. On a wild card, should I replace Ward with someone? Yes, I would. I would go Keylor Navas probably instead, or someone like that. Raya or Kepa on a free hit. I prefer Kepa this week. Kane or Saka captain. I think they're the best two captaincy choices along with Tony. Just choose whoever you fancy. I'm probably going, well, I am going Harry Kane. Is Mbeumo to Watkins worth a hit? Probably not for me. Haaland to Kane for a -4. Big call. What do you think? Yeah, I would do it. Trippier captain. I don't fancy it personally myself. I don't fancy it myself. Henry to Chilwell. I think for free, Henry to Chilwell makes a lot of sense, for sure. For a hit, it's a slightly more difficult one. Leaked news is saying Raptor takes his top off after deadline. I have heard rumours that Raptor takes his top off after deadline, but that's only a rumour. I don't know how believable that is. What is your favourite animal? A goat. Love from Panama. Big love to Panama. You've got less than 2 minutes until the deadline. Get those teams locked in. Make sure that you've sorted out your bench order. No, joking. Make sure you've got your captaincy sorted. Make sure that if you've activated a chip, make sure it is actually active for this week. My transfer this week was Haaland to Watkins, and it was my only free transfer. Frosty says, went for Watkins captaincy. Seems like a fun punt. Best of luck. Hopefully he does well. I've just brought him in this week. Hopefully Watkins does well. What is your favourite hairstyle? It's just outrageous. Just an outrageous question. What are your thoughts on Chilwell captain? I don't like captaining defenders, but I don't necessarily hate it. But yeah, I'm not a big lover of captaining defenders myself. Thanks for the stream, Ross, and good luck. Good luck. You've got less than a minute till the deadline. Get those teams locked in. And do stick around after the stream as well. We'll be discussing various parts of life. We're going to discuss F1. We're going to discuss football. And yeah, we'll just chill. So don't leave when the deadline goes. But if you do leave, make sure you subscribe on the way out. Exactly the same team, but I have Martinelli. Best of luck. Best of luck. And that should be the deadline. That is 6:30. So we should be locked in. As Gabe says, we should be locked in now. So we will discuss everything. Ross, what's for dinner? Chicken and rice. Nice and standard. I've not got a takeaway tonight. I might get a takeaway tomorrow. F1 chat. Yes, we will talk all about F1. I've been doing so much research for F1. If you are leaving the stream, by the way, please do drop a like on the way out. Make sure to subscribe on your way out as well. But hopefully don't. Hopefully don't leave. Hopefully stay. Because this is when the best part of the stream starts. We were so close. We're only 69 subscribers away from 65,000. 69 subscribers away. If any of you have not yet, and by the way, cheeky 69 there, if any of the 69 of you that are watching have not subscribed, please subscribe. Just make a man's day. Make a man's day and help us hit 65. Okay. Raptor, take off your top. Nice, just straight to the point. One of these days, I'll rip it off. One of these days. I feel like I need to do my summer cut first. I feel like at the moment I'm a little bit chubby. A little bit too chubby for my liking. Can you do F1 fantasy? We can absolutely talk about F1 fantasy in this. We can absolutely do it. I've got a takeaway, chicken tikka biryani, like your dinner, but actually tasty. I'm having reggae chicken and rice tonight. My favorite takeaway is an Indian. I do like Indian takeaways, and I would go for a chicken tikka madras for the people that have just asked there. Indian takeaway, chicken tikka madras, Peshwari naan. If you know about the Peshwari naan, just perfection. There are a lot of sirens in Nottingham. A lot of things happening. Just subbed, you're welcome. Thank you, Johan, I appreciate that. This time is actually when I join the stream rather than leave. Welcome. You've missed 2 hours of absolute just FPL knowledge, but you know what? I'm not salty at all. Do what you want. If you don't want to be here for the whole stream, don't. I need a wee, though. It's the only issue. Ross, Ross, have you ever taken any drugs? No, I'm a very, very good boy. I have not. Well, apart from like paracetamol and alcohol, technically drugs, but no, I've not. Ross, why don't you do knee-jerk streams? Andy does the knee-jerk streams, doesn't he? I don't really want to copy him. But I could do. Would you guys want to see a stream on a Sunday evening? Maybe. Ross, have you ever been in trouble with the police? What do you think? Do you think I've been in trouble with the police? And this is a good question. Do you think I've been in trouble with the police? And if so, what would I have been in trouble with the police for? There's your question to answer, chat. There's your question to answer. Good evening, Johnny Sins. Not that again. Good evening. Having a pucker pie tonight. Pucker pie. That was a very plosive sentence. Enjoy your pucker pie. Do you play So Rare? No, but I think I might get into it soon. But no, I've not yet played So Rare. Lynn, good to see you in the chat. She says, keep Zhou Guanyu or swap to someone of an equal budget. I quite like Alex Albon, who's slightly more expensive. I don't really like Hulkenberg. We'll discuss that in a second, Lynn. I think keep Zhou, to be honest. I think keep Zhou Guanyu. That's going to be my plan anyway. I think. Right, so everyone seems to think that I... There are some great ones already, right? Most of the chat thinks that I have been... Yeah, okay, so everyone in the chat seems to think that... Sorry, I'm just catching up. Everyone in the chat seems to think that I have been in trouble with the police. So if you've just joined, the question that I asked the chat is, do you think I've been in trouble with the police? And if so, what for? Yes, for ripping his top off. Speeding. Crimes against fashion. Kidnapping Yelena. Right. That wouldn't have happened. A helicopter story. Taking the top off in public. Taking your top off in public. Why does everyone think I'm some sort of streaker? I do take off my top sometimes. Your hard drive, right? That seems unnecessary. Raptor is a convicted flasher. Public indecency. So you just basically think I can't keep on my clothing in public. Nice. FPL Harry didn't get your Haaland tweet sarcasm. What Haaland tweet sarcasm? I don't remember a Haaland tweet. Anyway, I don't know. I need a wee. When I need a wee, I can't focus my attention. Stealing a wig. Why do so many people think I'm exposing myself in public? This is not good. Is this the vibe I give? Is this the vibe I give? Do I just give the vibe of someone that would just strip off in public? Right. That's pretty funny. Mentioning your PhD too many times. I could be arrested for mentioning my PhD too many times. That's fair. That's fair. Arrested for criminal FPL takes. I'd say urinating in a public place. What, based on the fact that I really need a wee now? If I weed on stream, would that be public indecent? Well, I guess if I showed you. Is that public urination? I'd technically be doing a wee in front of 2,000 people. That's technically public. That is technically public. Max Verstappen captain. Yeah, let's talk about F1. We're not going to talk about F1 for too long, though. If you're not interested in F1, don't run away. Here are my 3 teams. The middle team did so well the first week. That Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Stroll, Zhou Guanyu one. I haven't made any transfers on any of them yet. I need to keep up. Want to see free practice 3 tomorrow. I don't really feel the need to make transfers in any of them. The only one that I'm probably leaning towards making a transfer is probably Hulkenberg to Albon in my 3rd team. Outside of that, I don't desperately want to make that many transfers. I want to keep Charles Leclerc because I think he's going to get points for overtake and positions gained. What do we think, chat? What would you do with those 3? That middle team is for the whole season. Yeah, that middle team is just probably not going to change massively. Maybe that Joe Guanyu spot I might switch around, but outside of that, Stroll, Alonso, Verstappen, Perez probably won't change too much. How difficult is your PhD course? PhDs aren't really that difficult. It's just about keeping up and doing as much work as you can. But my PhD isn't too difficult. Kanishka says, we talk about life, FPL, and F1. A minute later, you take your top off. Planning to follow F1, what she said I should learn first. What should I learn first? Oh, if you're planning to follow F1, I would watch Drive to Survive. I know a lot of people don't like it that are like heavily involved in F1, but watching Drive to Survive is a good place to start for F1, I think. Being weird on live streams and being in danger of having a heart attack with laughter. Both things happen quite a lot, don't they? I am weird. It's good to own. If you're weird, it's good to just know that you're weird. And I accept that I'm a full-blown weirdo. How many points are you on? Let's have a look. So, look, as you can see here, my 3 teams, I'm 940th, 43rd, and 1,800th in my league. My league has just over 2,000 teams in it. So this middle team here absolutely smashed it. Team 2 demolished it. But that's because obviously Red Bull and Aston Martin are doing really well. And Joe Guanyu got the fastest lap. So that was why that team did really well. If you're watching this, by the way, I assume you like me. Please go follow my Instagram. It's at FPL__Raptor. It's in the description and it's linked at the top of the chat. Please go follow me. I'm really trying to grow my Instagram, but no one will love me over on Instagram. I'm posting a lot more as well. So if you want to do one thing for me today, go do that. I can't believe Joe Guanyu got the fastest lap. Went full X Games mode on the last lap. I know, it was the last lap of the race, wasn't it? That Joe Guanyu did the best lap as well. Should I keep Leclerc? Yeah, I would keep Charles Leclerc, probably. Got to have Gasly this week. Yeah, Alpine do look okay, don't they? I'll have a think. Maybe there's one of the teams that I could get Gasly in for. What did you do for your A-levels, Ross? For my A-levels, I did psychology, history, philosophy and ethics, and English. And I got an A star in psychology, and then I got an A in history, A in philosophy and ethics, and an A in English. So it was 1 A star, 3 A's. If Andy is the Messi of FPL YouTube, who are you? There you go, chat. There's another question for you. If Andy is the Messi of FPL YouTube, who are you? You're such a nerd. Why? Now the chat is just calling me a nerd. Chat, you're not very nice, are you? Don't call me a nerd. Listen, there's a difference between being a nerd and just trying hard at school. I was not a nerd. I was captain of the football team. I did sport as well. You can do well with your grades and not be a nerd. I'll have you know. Oh, honestly. Oh, God. So my question was, if Andy is the Messi of FPL YouTube, who am I? We've got Phil Jones. We've got Titus Bramble, Tim Howard, Harry Maguire, Timo Werner. What are these? Bentner. Someone said I'm Adam Johnson. Right, this is just outrageous. Chat, you're in a mood today, aren't you? I'm gonna fight all of you. I could fight 1,500 people. Don't try me. Yelena, you are a nerd though. Good to see you being lovely as always, and to think that I've been nice to you in this stream as well. I'm not a nerd. If I'm a nerd, you're a nerd as well. We're basically the same person. Nothing wrong with being a nerd. That's true. Top G of FPL YouTube. I can't believe someone just called me Adam Johnson. Robbie Savage. John Joe Shelby. Do you know what, chat? I'm never going to stream again after this. Thank you. Someone just said I'm Maradona. I actually had to scroll through the chat for about half an hour to find someone that said something nice. Chat thinks they play FPL and they aren't nerds themselves. To be fair, if you play FPL, you're a nerd. I just hope I hope you know that if you are watching this stream right now, you are a certified nerd. I'm talking to you as well. You. What year did you get A star in psychology A level? I did mine in 2016. I finished my A levels in 2015. So 2015. So I started university in 2015. Yeah. I come here for the Yelena chat. I don't think there'll be much Yelena chat today. I feel sorry for her. She gets spoken about far too much in these streams. Bart Simpson. What? How am I the Bart Simpson? What's the correlation here? The question from Aaron coming in right now. I love some of these questions. How many grannies could you beat up consecutively before they eventually overpower you? So are they walking at me like one-on-one? I need to know I need to know the setup here. Am I fighting all of them? Consecutively means like I fight one and then the next one comes at me. I think I could beat up. It's about how long I could like last. That sounds wrong. Not how long I could last, but how long before I get fatigued. That doesn't sound any better. How many grannies could I beat up consecutively before they overpower me? I'm going to say 14. I think I could beat up 14 grannies in a row. Yeah, 14 grannies. Yelena says, you're the Tom Holland. I feel like that's a compliment. Did you just compliment me? Everyone loves Tom Holland. What did I just join? I love it when people must join midway through me having a sentence about how many grannies I could beat up. You've just got to watch the whole stream. You can't come and go. You either stick around for the entirety or you don't bother. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? One of them is Nanoraptor. If one of them is Nanoraptor, Nanoraptor could definitely beat me up. How many... Oh, God, right, I'm not even going to ask that question. I really thought it was a compliment as well. It really confused... Frosty, she just complimented me, didn't she? Or was she insulting me? You know it's bad when you've been horrible to me so many times that I don't know if it's a compliment or like a backhanded insult. You'd beat up the grannies, but you'd do it politely. Sorry, excuse me. You need to watch The Last of Us, Hermano. I am going to watch The Last of Us, yes. I am. That's a very specific number of grannies. Have you got any experience in real life? No comment. No comment. Fun fact, Raptor is actually younger than Tom Holland. Why is that how old is Tom Holland? Why is that a fun fact? Tom Holland. Tom Holland is older than me. I am younger than Tom Holland. That's exciting. Ross, we're one away from the bingo, by the way. Oh, one sec, Calvin. Let me check. Let me check the bingo. I'll get the bingo up. Bingo. What's your name on Twitter, Calvin? Here you are. You posted it, didn't you? I forgot to save it. Let me look. I'm just... Sorry, Calvin. I'm just scrolling through your replies, but, you know, it is what it is. How many... Here it is. No, it wasn't that one. I'm sure you sent me the most up-to-date one. Here it is. Here's the updated FPL bingo from Calvin. How old are you? How old do you think I am? How old do you think I am? Are you the same height as Tom Holland? How tall is Tom Holland? Isn't Tom Holland really short? Tom Holland is 1 point... I'm a little bit taller than Tom Holland, yes. I am taller than Tom Holland. There's no way Ross is ancient. There's no way you're that young. Chat, you're being a little bit rude. Are you and Yelena dating? We are not dating. We are best of friends. Ross said he'd post... What does it say? Ross said he'd post photos of himself in a vest tonight if he gets an extra 100 followers on Instagram by midnight. I can neither confirm nor deny. I might post a topless picture. Who knows? Calvin, we're using your bingo card for Tipsy Deadline stream. Yes, Calvin, in Game Week 32, Yelena and I are doing a Tipsy Deadline stream, and we're going to use your bingo. We're going to use your bingo. How old do you think I am, right? What are the guesses here? 35, 32. You don't look a day over 45. 42. 24. Hello. Thank you for saying I look 24. I call my wife my best friend, just saying. No, but we are really just best friends. We are. I understand that you don't believe me, but we are. Ross is 38. Where's my wallet? I don't have my driver's. I was going to show you my driver's license. It's a shame. I am 27. I'm not 27. I am 25. I'm born in 1997. It's my birthday in 12 days. I was born on the 29th of March, chat. So it's my birthday in 12 days. What are you going to get me? Here's a question for you to the 1,300 people that are still watching this absolute train wreck. If you were to buy me a present in real life, what present would you buy me, chat? What birthday present would you buy me? Where is Yelena? Hey, Yelena, would you see Ross as more than a friend? Do you not think that Yelena and I would have discussed this already? We're friends. Stop asking her questions. Showing your driver's license on streams feels like an awful idea. It probably does, doesn't it? Do you also want my bank account password too? Right, what are people buying me? Here we go. I would buy you a wig, a wig. The first three responses were they would buy me a wig, of course. Thank you very much. Definitely not shampoo. Thank you. A wig. It was okay. So you would buy me a wig then, chat. Fine. A pillow in the form of a green arrow. That's a pretty cool gift. A bat. Aaron said a bat for the grannies. If you missed that part of the stream, that will make no sense. But Aaron's buying me a bat for the grannies. That would be useful. Yeah, that would probably help me get 3 more grannies. A comb, a Zimmer frame, hair growth cream. Honestly, chat. A plane ticket to Turkey. That seems like a nice gift. Thank you. Oh. Deodorant. I think I smell fine. Thank you very much. A bowling ball polish. These are some outrageous things. I'd buy you a beard bib. Okay. I would buy you 35,100 subscribers. Thank you. That would be nice to help me hit 100,000. Oh God, there are some that I can't read out on stream, but there are some great ones in here. Will you be doing a free hit guide midweek for GameWeek 29? Yes, I'll be doing a free hit and wildcard team for GameWeek 29. Don't worry. Tinder membership. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Tinder Plus. Tinder Plus. Cool. So everyone thinks I need help with dating. Thanks. I appreciate that. So I think what we're getting from this, if I'm just going to summarize, you guys think that I need a wig and a year's subscription to Tinder Plus. Thanks, chat. Thank you very much. Just going to go cry by myself. I'd buy you some Riz. I've got plenty of Riz. Slug polish. Oh no, slug plushie. They did slug polish. It's like, can you polish a slug? I'd buy you F1 fantasy tips too. That might be useful. Newcastle news is out, is it? Well, it doesn't help now anyway, does it? It's too late now. Say your best Riz line. What's my best chat up line? What is my best chat up line? I just... Wait, I'm going to say this with a straight face. I'm just like, do you know who I am? And if they don't know who I am, then they're not the one for me. Ross, did you ever get a red card in football? So when I played academy football, we actually had blue cards. So if you played for kind of a professional football club as a kid, like in the youth, we didn't have yellow cards and red cards. We had blue cards. I did receive a blue card once. I won't tell you what for because it was pretty embarrassing, but yes. That's my team, by the way. I forgot that I had the bingo up on screen. If you and Yelena ever get married, I'm paying for the food at your reception. I give you my word. Just email me. Yelena, do you want to get married just for the free food? I'm tempted. Free food's always a plus. I'm going to do a deadline stream from my wedding. I've decided, like live from the wedding, I will stream. I will get married on a deadline and I will stream at the wedding. There you go. There's my promise to you guys. What's a blue card? It was like a suspension, but I think if you got more than like 3 or 4 blue cards in a season, then they had like the ability to drop you for it. I can't remember what was in the contract, but yeah. No, that wasn't a proposal. That wasn't a proposal. Have you ever punched another player's granny? Yeah, all the time. I didn't take my shirt off. No. Basically, the ref gave a really bad decision, and I clapped the ref. But I kind of clapped at the ref, and it was quite rude, so I got a blue card. I didn't want to admit that, because I don't want to be that guy that claps the ref. But yeah, I clapped him. It was a shocking decision, to be fair. When did you start losing your hair? When I was born, to be fair. When I was born. I've got baby pictures, though. Like, you can just tell, like, my hair's just always been quite thin, to be fair. To be fair. Look, that was my hair when I was a baby. I never had a lot of hair. It's always been quite thin. This is the Instagram, by the way. Go follow that. FPL Raptor. FPL__ Raptor. That's me. And there's me at the F1 arcade. Look at me. I could be an F1 driver. Do you think I could be an F1 driver? Anyway. You clapped the ref. I didn't give the ref the clap. No, not clapped the ref like that. Chat, you're so just... What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm going to take a picture of that. I'm not going to read that out loud. Chat, you say some terrible things. Did people mock you for having a lack of hair when you were younger? I didn't have, like, when I was younger, I didn't have a lack of hair, though. This is the thing. It was just thin hair. Let me find. I think I showed this in the last stream. So apologies if you were in the last stream and you don't care. Get drunk on stream. I'm going to do a drunk stream with Yelena in Game Week 32. Game Week 32, there will be a drunk stream with yours truly in there. See, look. I mean, the hairline's not great, but that was only a couple of years ago. But then that was wet. One sec. Let me find a one that's not wet. Here we go. It wasn't great haircut, but I had a reasonable amount of hair. It just wasn't... It's just thin and not great hairline. So... Are you still selling... Oh, the camera's gone. Are you still selling your book? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Yes, you can still buy the book. Link in the description if you want to buy the book. How drunk are we talking? I reckon I'll get tipsy. Yelena might get more than tipsy. But I won't go beyond tipsy because I've got to try and oversee the live stream. So I'm not going to get too drunk. You were just featured on FPL Mate's stream. What did I say on FPL Mate's stream? What did he say about me, I should ask? How old were you when you had your first party? I don't understand the question. I guess I was 1 when I had my first party. Yelena. I didn't realize you were... Yelena, don't read the chat. Whatever you do, it's horrific today. I apologize. Some of the questions in chat are mad. I know. Chat gets a little bit carried away, bless him. He said you are bald. Who said I'm a... Wait. Mate made fun of me. All right, so I need to fight FPL Mate. Okay. Apparently FPL mate made fun of me for being bald. I don't believe you, chat. I feel like you're stirring. Drunk Yelena. Yeah, Drunk Yelena will be fun on the stream. She'll be fun on the stream for sure. What is a back granny? Don't don't worry about what's happening there. Is the camera gonna work now? Oh, the camera's still broken. I give up, chat. It does my head in. Right, John, shut up. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to mute you. I can send you my nan to help fight him. Yes, please. Will FPL beef ever be a thing? If FPL beef is a thing, it's not going to be involved with me. I do not have the energy to have beef. Just can't be bothered. I just don't care about anything that much. The camera is trying to hide your bald head. Thank you. Ross, how much do you weigh? I weigh 76 kilograms. Is the camera going to work now? Yes. Just checked out Yelena's channel. She is beautiful. You two should get married. I'm glad you enjoyed our channel. Glad you enjoyed our channel. Did I answer that question? Yeah, 76 kilograms. I am 177 centimeters and 76 kilograms. There you go. Has Yelena taught you any Serbian curse words yet? She hasn't, but I will ask her. I will ask her to teach me some. Does the camera break from the heat reflected back off your head? That just feels unnecessary. Have you watched Napoli before? You should give it a watch. I've watched Napoli, yeah, sure. I don't regularly watch the Serie A, but... Raptors short AF. How is Raptors short AF? Listen, chat, I'm not starting this again. I'm absolutely massive. I'm massive. That's not short. That's tall. Do you know what? I'm not going to defend myself here. I'm not going to defend myself. Raptor is a dwarf. Raptor's not a dwarf. Raptor's got that short riz. Chat, you just... Lol, chat is brutal. I don't think I'd ever do a live stream. You've got to have a certain thick skin and personality to do live streams, especially with the chat here. What are your opinions on Watkins captain? I don't dislike it at all. I don't dislike it at all. Raptor is too small to ride the Smiler at Alton Towers. No, I'm not. I'm not. This is a terrible rumour that's going to start going around. Ross, what is your academy story? There's not much of a story. I played for Spurs from the age of, I think it was under 7s, like end of under 7s, beginning of under 8s to about under 15s. So I played for a reasonable amount of time. It was about 8 seasons for Spurs. How big of a Man United fan are you? You should do a collaboration with Mark Goldbridge sometime. I'm a big Manchester United fan, but I've not really got any intention of going into sort of main football content. I think I want to stay in FPL or like F1. Football content's just really toxic, but not even in a funny way. It's just... Who's the best player you ever played with? It would probably be Ainsley Maitland-Niles or Kyle Walker-Peters. They were both in my age group. Probably Kyle is the best one at the moment in the Prem. Ainsley's obviously pretty decent too. Oh yeah, team news. Let's go have a look. Oh God, the thing is really off there. There you go. Right. There we go. Yeah. It was the team that was going round. So Isak's there, Fabian Schär, Botman, Dan Burn, Kieran Trippier. The only thing that's slightly interesting is Wilson is on the bench. So maybe Isak wasn't the best punt unless you think Isak will stay on and maybe Isak and Wilson will play alongside each other. But yeah, Wilson is back there on the bench. So if he can stay fit, maybe Isak isn't the best option long term. I want to know if Nico Williams starts because someone I know owns Nico Williams. I don't know if they sold Nico Williams. Where's Nottingham Forest? Okay, Nico Williams doesn't start. I don't think there's anything else that shocking. Brennan Johnson starts. Morgan Gibbs-White starts. Keylor Navas starts. So there's not that much. Right. I thought Almiron was injured. Wait, was Almiron in it? Almiron wasn't in the 11, was he? Was Almiron there? Yeah, Almiron is injured. Yeah, Almiron's not there. Please. Oh, God. Please release a shirtless calendar for the real fans. Chat, would anyone buy a shirtless calendar? Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll do that. I can't see it happening anytime soon, though. Is Yelena in the chat? I don't think so. I don't think she's currently watching, but she could be. Why? What do you want to ask her now? Leave her alone. Who will go to the semis, do you think? Chelsea or Madrid? I'm going to back Madrid, sadly, for Chelsea fans. Right. I think I'm going to leave it there because I haven't had dinner yet and I need to cook dinner. So, yeah. Sorry, I've just zoned out. I'm tired. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. If you want to see my F1 team before the deadline tomorrow, I will be tweeting my F1 fantasy team. So go follow me over on Twitter. Like I said, please do go follow me over on Instagram as well. All of the links are in the description. And yeah, I appreciate you being here and watching the streams. And I'm looking forward to next week's stream. We do have an international break between Game Week 28 and 29. So it'll be a couple of weeks before the next stream. Hopefully you don't miss me too much. But have a brilliant rest of your St. Patrick's Day. Have a great evening. And I will catch you again very soon. Bye, guys.